Welcome to Xbox Uncuts Weekly Podcast. Justin! So that's what I call a killer deal. That's better than anything Microsoft's ever done of all their existence. Check, please. Check. Check, please. But,
now let's talk about something with double the frame rate. What's it's great. And why did Eric drop, man? It's too bad.
Oh well.
The quick look guru, Eric.
I was saying, that's what you were saying, yeah, but the way order went down. But
Well,
you
that's
know
what
what it was?
happened.
It was the opposite way, though. It wasn't that they lost money because of that. People were like, oh, man, that game was rough.
Steve rules.
Which is like a fast-paced action game. Sort of like a shoot 'em up. You can do it like co-op and stuff. The graphics look really cool. Hand-drawn graphics and all that shizzle.
Speaking of bytes of cloud storage, it helps more than just the 360 customers, so it also helps the Xbox One customers, because Xbox One customers are going to be using backwards compatibility, and you'll be using the cloud storage through the 360.
Southbound.
And this from a huge Metal Gear fan. He said you could tell that the game wasn't finished, and then when Kojima got fired or whatever happened, they just kind of buttoned it up and just shipped it just as it is.
Tim Dog.
You know how many times I've argued with people and they're like, Persona 5! It's gonna, and then it's like, it's the same shit all the time. It's like, I don't know,
And you came to reality and you were like, take the L!
You know, exactly.
welcome to Xbox Uncuts Weekly Podcast. We're back for another crazy week of Xbox news. We have all kinds of things to talk about this week. So much to go over. But let's go ahead and introduce everybody in the panel today. Welcome to the show, Vern!
Oh man, that was quick.
Yeah, I'm getting right into it, man. We got a lot to go over. We got a lot
Thanks
to talk
for the
about.
welcome.
How are you doing today, Vern?
You know, not so good, because I got all these great new snacks, and I can't eat them until Thanksgiving, since Maria and I are on a diet. We want to look good for our family when we see them. On Thanksgiving, so got these 3 awesome snacks, and I can't even eat them. But I wanted to show them to the Wicked Soul because they're really good. They're really good. First one, and these are quite delicious. These are my favorites. These are the pumpkin spice Oreos, the basic bitch Oreo. And then I also got.
Wait. Can we read that's like the I want to get laid Oreo. I'm trying to impress my woman, so I got some pumpkin spice.
This is the catch a woman. Yes, the catch a woman Oreo.
Yeah.
This one's pretty good for catching the ladies too, though. This one's really good. This one's called the brownie batter Oreo. I'll raise this one for the viewers. These are quite delicious as well. And then this Oreo.
I hate to ask, but we're on a scale of 1 to 5 because I love 5-point scale.
Yeah.
Where would you rate these on like picking up a girl?
I'm picking up a girl. Okay,
Yeah.
well. First off, this would be the lowest rated. I'd probably give this a 3 out of 5. This is cookies and cream.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about trying it myself because I'm a huge. But it's like an Oreo. It's the best way to describe it. Because when you have cookies and cream ice cream, it's like Oreo ice cream essentially, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So what's the fucking point of cookies and cream Oreos? It's like putting an Oreo in an Oreo. But I mean that's pretty cool if you like Oreos. It is Oreoception. Yeah, it is. Anyway, this is like a 3 out of 5. I would say like the brownie batter would probably be a good 4 out of 5 because women love chocolate. You know, so if you got double chocolate, you got double the women. But
I like your logic.
And then, but no, this is definitely a 5 out of 5 for the pumpkin spice Oreo.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, women love their pumpkin spice. I mean, that's what they go to Starbucks for, and that's what they come to your house for if you have pumpkin spice Oreos on hand. Yeah. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. But anyway, I'm doing good. But I'm going to be doing a lot better come November when I get home and I can eat those Oreos.
You need to treat yourself every now and again. You know, like the thing is, the problem with having all these Oreos is not, as long as you don't eat all 3 packs in 10 minutes, you know, having 1 or even 2 a day, that's perfectly fine. I think you should treat yourself.
Yeah, that works for you people who live, across the ocean, where you can actually control your urges and stuff. But this is America.
We have variety.
We can't do that. So it's very difficult.
A bag of
we
Oreos
have to
or
go
a
on
box.
binge diets.
Bag of Oreos is like a one-night stand.
It really is. Yeah, it just goes. But if you got I have 4 packages of these because I have 2 of the pumpkin because these are limited edition Oreos, so I gotta buy them when they're available, but then I store them. So, but when we get back around late November, we're gonna be busting into these Oreos, me and Maria, because these are our anniversary Oreos. Because November 29th is our anniversary, so good times.
The Wicked Soul wanted to know, should I cover my body in various Oreos to get chicks?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. As a person in the nude, Steve, how do you feel about that?
I think that's a good way to go. Perhaps if you put them all in the bath or something, and then
milk bath.
The tub.
It's got to be a milk bath, though.
Well, but I think first you could just sort of roll around in them, and then you could put the milk in. Really sort of become one with the Oreos.
So wait, are you doing a Scrooge McDuck moment where you're jumping into a solid surface?
Well, you don't jump in. It's not a swimming pool.
Or do you have somebody on the outside bury you in Oreos in the tub?
I think he crumbles them first and then paints his body with the Oreo.
No. You sort of stack them up nicely, and then you just sort of gently lower yourself in, and just feel them sort of crush. Then you just sort of roll around in it, and then you become one with the Oreos. And then you get loads of milk and funnel it in.
Yeah, this is called a diabetes bath.
I see.
If you throw some Fruit Loops in there, I've seen this porno.
See, I was thinking of making you can make a necklace out of the pumpkin spice Oreos, and then you can take it off and you can give it to your lady.
Make a necklace and go into a Starbucks. You'll be leaving with a lot of women.
Hey, baby, you want some pumpkin spice?
Oreos?
Well, let's get back on topic. Welcome to the show, Jason.
I'm triggered. So triggered right now, man. What's up, guys?
Oreo crumbs leading to the bed, according to Wicked Soul. Steve, welcome to the show. I don't remember if I introduced you yet. You did run on.
You didn't.
Nope.
Welcome to the show, Steve. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm feeling okay. I appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Oh, it's good, Steve. It's good. I'm glad you're doing okay. And for this week, hopefully he answers this time. How are you doing, Eric?
I'm fine. I'm good.
Man, that's 2 weeks in a row. You answered right away.
Something's wrong.
It's throwing me.
I'm sitting up. You have my full attention.
Eric, what is your favorite Oreo?
Favorite
Are
Oreo?
you a classic Oreo man, or do you have a one of the many
Actually,
flavors?
I want a little. You know what? I'll say. I think my favorite would be one that I went crazy when it came out, and I literally ate three bags of them in a week. It was crazy. Was the birthday one? That was crazy.
See, I've heard really good things about those.
I want a little nuts.
They're
not
solid.
gonna lie, guys. It was
solid.
pretty. It's dangerous. I don't even go near them.
Man, 3 packs in a week.
I know.
That's kind of a lightweight there, bro.
Well, no, it's 150 calories for 2 cookies, though.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
don't scare Eric. Leave him alone. Let him have his misery in peace. Don't.
So you're probably talking 3,500, 4,000 calories in a pack.
3 years to diabetes.
Yes.
So you probably have 12,000 calories just in those 3 packs in 1 week.
So,
yeah.
It's okay, Eric.
Have you ever had cherry pie Oreos?
Nah.
No, I'm telling you though, man, you gotta have the berry, man. The berry cream Oreos. Those are really good.
Try that.
But I gotta say, my favorite are the triple stuff. Just
I have never had that.
I've done that. I've done the
triple
triple
stuff.
stuff.
Triple stuff is
Triple
like
stuffed, man.
it's just like, hey, fat ass.
You
Hey, you want some more
can-
stuffing?
You got enough
Fat
paste
ass,
on
come
that.
here.
You got enough paste on that fucking Oreo to brush your teeth and then eat it, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Can you genuinely get triple stuff Oreos?
Definitely.
It's American sized.
You know what's a
Are those
really good
me
one
getting
though?
Really excited. Go on.
I was gonna say what's a really good one though, if you can find it. You can still find them around, but they're about to go bad. Is the s'more Oreo?
Yeah, it's a solid
Yeah.
Oreo.
It's a graham cracker cookie on the outside. It's really
Can we
delicious.
call this Oreo and Cut from now on?
They're
I
really
feel
good,
like
man.
is this like that movie Friday where it's like the fat bitch knows when the new cupcake's coming out? Man, they got this new cupcake coming out next month. Going to be the bomb.
The feeling pops out in your mouth when you take a bite. It's just amazing. All
I didn't
right.
get to try the key lime pie Oreo though. That one looked pretty interesting, but
Yeah.
Key lime
Glass.
pie Oreo. What the hell is wrong with you lot over there?
the red velvet. You saw the red
No
velvet,
offense.
Oreos, right? Those are really good too, man.
Hey, at least our flavors make sense. Go over to Japan. Like
Yeah,
Colgate toothpaste Oreo.
They
with
would do
tea
Did they,
and soy
did they
sauce.
actually do that?
that. I wouldn't be
Dude,
surprised.
I wouldn't
They
be
probably- probably
shocked.
like salmon Oreos or something.
Seaweed
They have,
Oreos.
Oreos, they would.
Yep.
Enjoy the flavor. All right, well, I think I've introduced everybody. And we've talked about Oreos enough. So moving on. Huh? What?
I was going to ask, can we get an Oreo representative on the podcast next week?
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh my god, I just realised Dustin's obviously been paid for this, or Vern has. Vern has taken payment to not even, you don't even need to give Vern money. Just give him a couple of packs of Oreos. And that's
That would work. If I got lifetime supply of Oreos just to talk about Oreos on this show all the time,
As
I
if they're that
did it.
expensive.
You're going to Happy Gilmore it?
I'd totally do it.
No, this is all you would have to do. Look, Vern, we want you to talk about Oreos the next 2 months. We're going to give you 3 flavors that haven't hit the market yet. We'll send you just a box of each.
Whoa!
And then fucking Vern would be like, you got me. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Excited. See, I get, dude. What? I look for flavored Oreos like at least every couple of weeks on Google. I'll just try to see if there's a new one coming out. You know, so I find out about these things maybe 3-4 months in advance just from leaked photos, and I get really excited. So
And this isn't just like a Vern being crazy thing. This is like an active event people do. Like Oreo loves it because people love Oreos. I think without a doubt, like there are better cookies out there, but I think the Oreo is like the most loved cookie. People just
And
love
it's
it.
a knockoff.
It is. It's a knockoff.
but
It's
man,
not the original,
all
but
their
it's
special flavors are so cool. Like they come
Yeah.
up with really good ones.
But
Wait, Oreos is a knockoff?
yeah,
Yes.
Oreos is not the like it's a knockoff of
The
a real
original
cookie.
sounds like something you'd put in your laundry.
Yeah,
Wow.
but
Like Oxytone or some shit like that. I don't remember.
before we move on, Steve
Was it good? Oh, sorry.
from Steve.
That was a fucking Oreo.
Well, I was trying to get off of Oreos. Like we've been talking about this for like I don't know, like 15 minutes.
Hey man, I was like,
Twitch
you
is
said
gonna
we
be
had
like,
shit
this
to
is a
talk about
video
this
game
week.
show.
I thought it was about Oreos.
Let the guy plug my website,
I
please.
was
Come
trying
on.
to plug SteveRules.com for people.
SteveRulesOreos.com, man.
You could go to
You should
SteveRules.com
review
/Oreos. They could,
You should do Oreo
Maybe-
reviews.
Steve.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Maybe
I
I should
think
just shut
you
down
need
all
to-
that video game crap.
I think you need to import triple stuff Oreos and do a review.
Those are boring, man. You can make your own triple stuff Oreos.
No,
you
but
get
they're
the-
so
Well, I
good.
get the
Triple
double
stuff.
stuff, and then I
And you make
double them
some
up, so I
odd
get
stuff.
quadruple stuff. So I'm going to
Yeah.
head to the curve on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Also, what I should do is I should add a third one to that, and then I get like double, triple stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But one more thing,
Yeah.
I know you said the taste of the Oreo. It's not all that amazing compared to other cookies or something like that. But I mean, I think they're amazing. But
No, but like if you're talking about the best like if we were going to go top grade, top shelf cookie, Oreo's not on my list. Like
no, but you got to remember the smell too. That's a big part
cookies.
of it. It's a big part of it. Opening up the bag and smelling it.
I got a question though, Steve. I might just be being ignorant here, but in Britain, is Oreo a biscuit?
What?
All right, never mind.
As opposed to a cookie.
Yes, he was just curious.
Yeah, they're all biscuits.
All right.
Okay, I was just wondering.
So if I had biscuits, if I asked for biscuits and gravies, would they give me Oreos and gravy?
You'll probably get like tea biscuits or some crap like that.
Do you know what biscuits and gravy are?
No.
They're delicious.
It's delicious.
It's not a game.
Biscuits and gravy is a Southern style breakfast, and it's fucking delicious.
I take that back. Since the last releases we had, I wouldn't be down if Biscuits and Gravy is actually an indie game coming out this week. Am I wrong, Steve?
It very well could be.
You are wrong.
Oh, God damn
Until
it.
we produce it. Biscuits and Gravy. It's going to be about making Oreos and putting gravy on it.
It'll be called Biscuits and Gravy, an Xbox Uncut experience.
Reviewed by Steve Rules on steverules.com. Well, Steve, have you written any articles lately that you'd like to talk about? No? Maybe? No?
Actually, I did. I wrote about how Games with Gold had been improved recently, and then, as luck would have it, they then announced a new lot today, and just completely mugged me off. So,
yeah. Well, you can read that article on steverules.com. We're not going to go through the whole thing. That way you'll visit his website and give Steve clicks. Like Steve doesn't have more clicks than we do already. Damn you, Steve. Damn you.
Don't forget to click an ad as well.
Click an ad. Yeah, that's the new slogan to our site. Click an ad.
There are no ads, but click an ad.
Yeah.
You need Oreo ads. People will click those.
Yeah.
That's true.
If you had Oreo reviews with Oreo ads, oh my god. All right, going right into the news, because we're going to do it my way this week. My way. We're going straight into the news.
Wow.
Because I want to talk about Halo. I want to talk about... There's a lot of stuff to talk about. But we're going to go back to the original style of the podcast. I saw Vern waving at somebody. The console install base is as big as it's ever going to get, according to Michael Patcher. How do y'all feel? Think he's wrong?
He's a dumbass.
He said Xbox One would sell around 100 million. PS4 would be at like 130, I think was his guess. And didn't he give Wii U some stupid number too?
15 to 20.
Yeah, 20 million.
I think these numbers are what he thinks the possible highest, like, crazy outcome would be. I don't necessarily think he really believes that's definitely what they're going to sell, but who knows?
These consoles aren't going to last long enough to sell that much. Even the PS4.
The PS4 will break 100 million, I think.
I don't think it'll. Well, it will, but the PS5
depends on
will be
how fast they
happens.
replace the PS5.
But Xbox
But the question is,
oh man,
is the console market share as big as it's ever going to get in the existence of reality?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, obviously, this gen won't be bigger than last, and then the next.
I don't know, man. With countries like India, where they're just starting to get the populations, and countries like China, and the populations are just starting to get into this. You give it 10 to 20 years, and more percentage of China can start buying consoles. You're talking a billion market right there.
You're assuming that they'll buy them.
China does not want consoles.
Well, sure, but even if they don't buy them, that's still market share. That's still people playing consoles. I mean, we're not really
it's
talking
still opening
buying.
up. I agree with Jason. I think it's going to get larger. As the generation, yes, people do get older, but all you're doing is you're expanding the amount of people that play video games. More women play video games nowadays than ever before. Like, and I'm talking about console games, not just. Like,
I think the definition of a console will change, but I think consoles in general, I think the market will get bigger.
Yeah. Wicked Soul says that 1%.
No, the thing about China is not the 1% bullshit joke. It's the fact that they just started allowing consoles to be sold in all of China and not just that one province. So maybe China will take off. I don't think China's going to be like a game changer or anything, but China, it's a market. It's another market for them to advertise in. So's India. It's going to be
Those are markets where it's going to take a while, but they will get there over time.
Yeah. All right, moving on. EA survey hints at Netflix-style subscription service for games. Well, we're already there, EA. We have it on Xbox. But it's coming to PC. And I think we're all pretty much PC gamers also.
Wait, EA Access is coming to PC?
Well, a survey hints at it. Like, it's not confirmed.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know about this.
I don't like to be referred to as a PC gamer, despite the fact that I probably do play PC games more than console games.
But all you're playing is that stupid football simulator game, right?
How dare you besmirch the good name of Football Manager?
It's called Game of the Year Manager already, Vern. It's destroying the charts.
It's Game of the Forever. Game of the Forever.
PC Master Race Simulator?
Yeah. Well, I would be down for it. I'd like EA Access. I mean, I don't think there's any issue with a subscription-based service for games. Like, it works. And EA's done a good job through Xbox. I haven't... We're getting fucking Hardline next month. I mean, didn't have to buy that. I'm good to go. Like, and if I really like Hardline when I play it, I'll buy the stupid premium. What is it? $60 premium pack or whatever for it.
You're not gonna like it that much.
No, I don't. I probably won't. But EA Access gets me in the door.
Well, EA Access is great because when a game gets announced, you can say, well, do I want to get that at launch or do I want to wait for EA Access? And if you say, I want to wait for EA Access, well, you're right. You can still wait for EA Access. It's not a guessing game like Xbox Live, Xbox Games with Gold or PlayStation Plus. Mm-hmm. You're not hoping that it'll come later. It will come later, at least from what we've seen. So
yeah.
If you're skeptical about Battlefront or just kind of sitting back like, I'm not 100% sure... I'm going to wait for reviews. The reviews come in, and let's say it's a 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 game. You can be like, what? Fuck it. I'll wait for EA Access. Well,
you get the 10-hour trial for that one, so that's good.
Yeah. Like, we'll know. That's another great thing about EA Access is we know when games are broken, because guess what? We get to play them before release.
And that shows a nice amount of confidence to give you 10 hours to play that game.
Yeah. So, I mean...
We're getting 10 hours of Battlefront.
Yep.
Makes sense. I mean,
over 5
you get
days,
people to play 10 hours. Shit, they're going to be like, I want to continue playing this.
I'll give it half hour, maybe 45 minutes.
No, but if you get hooked in that half hour, that's
he won't get hooked. He'll die like 5 times and quit.
Yeah.
Hey, Vern. Get button, mate.
But you know what? They still got the $30 for him from a year subscription. That's what they're counting on. Like, it's better to give Steve a shot at getting shot in the head 5 times and quitting than it is for him just to go, I don't like those games, fuck this, I'm done. I'm not buying it. Yeah, I mean, it works out for him. And like I said, EA has done it right. I'm totally for a Netflix style. I don't know why they're calling it a Netflix style. It's an EA Access on PC. I'm down. I'd do it.
Do we think the subscription will carry over multiple devices? So let's say we already bought EA Access for Xbox One. Do you think we'll be able to use that account on PC, possibly?
No, because Microsoft will not get a part of that.
Ah, that's right. Because it's so tied to Microsoft, right?
Microsoft won't want a scenario where you subscribe through Origin on PC, they don't get their cut, and then you go and take it to Xbox.
Yeah. So they just won't call it EA Access. They'll call it something else.
Yeah.
EA Games Flix.
EA
come on,
Vault.
wasn't that terrible?
Yeah, they say something well beyond EA Access, Xbox Live Gold, but I don't know what the fuck that means. EA Access is exactly what a Netflix style subscription is.
What I'm assuming why they say beyond is that there's such a large library already on PC, so that library will be larger on this service than, say, like EA Access is now.
They could include, like, SimCity and stuff that you can't include on the console.
Well, you'd make it more expensive. Make it a monthly payment like Netflix and call it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, moving on. Fable 4, not in development. Lionhead's focus to remain on Fable Legends for the foreseeable future.
Steve's so happy!
Steve.
It's a shame I'm not on the webcam right now, because I could show the fact that I've got a gun in my mouth and...
Oh, you mean, Dusty, you mean to tell me that a developer developing a game right now isn't focusing on a different game right now?
Well, let's be fair. They did turn around and say in June last year that they were developing a new IP and that we would have seen it by now.
Yes.
Or they were hoping to have shown it to us by now. And guess what? At the end of that 1 year period, the creative director left, and so did someone else in the incubation team. So of an 8-man team, 2 of them have left in the past year. In the past 3 months. That bodes well, doesn't it?
Well, and Phil Spencer probably saw it, and he was like, wow, this game is incredible. We're going to give you double the budget, and we want you to make Fable Legends the best game that has ever made.
Yeah.
He probably looked at this new IP and said, it's not free-to-play garbage enough, so... sorry, did I say that?
It doesn't show confidence to go, I know we're in the middle of developing this other game right now, but here's another game we're developing.
Well, if you looking at...
All I'm saying is let them get the game out of the door before we start talking about what they're going to be working on in the future.
Expansion.
Because they're not going to
talk... Fable Legends.
They're not going to talk about it.
It's a 10-year game, man. This is Fable for the next 10 years.
I'll tell you what, if it lasts 2, then I'll actually download it.
Hey, man, Fable 3 sucked, so...
I'm going to stick Tim Cat on
it. But it also sold 5 million units.
So? Would Fable 3, if people knew what it was, sell 5 million units?
Fable Legends will get 5 million downloads.
Yeah, that's right.
Fable 4, I hope
it will, but you have to get... Sorry.
Fable Legends looks good, but it's not going to replace Fable. They need to be making Fable.
It's not supposed to. I mean,
this is
such a tired argument. We want them to do something different. Stop just making Fable every year. Do something different.
They don't do that.
We don't want something different. We want Fable. I mean,
what people don't want is a Kinect Fable game that then nobody bought, and then what they don't want for them to then make a 4v1 Fable game that nobody wants.
It's true. People wanted another Fable.
Steve doesn't want
another Fable, an open world Fable like Witcher. Forget about it. It would be freaking amazing.
Like, it would be.
It would be, and then look. Imagine if they use this engine they got with DirectX 12. Forget about it. It'll be ridiculous. I mean,
all right. Well, I guess we've heard everybody's opinion. Moving on. Hitman delayed to March 2016.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was really hyped.
But it's still episodic, right?
Well,
yeah, more
no, they don't call it episodic or early access.
So they're still just releasing a portion, and then you play another portion later, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be a bigger portion.
So it's episodic, but they're not calling it episodic.
That's
but
correct.
Is.
Well, no. To be honest, that's not even true. As far as I'm concerned, it's not as far ahead as episodic. It's early access, but it's full price.
But they're calling it early access?
No, they don't like to use those words because they've got negative connotations.
They just won't describe what it is then. It's kind of like Destiny, where they wanted to avoid the term MMO and called it a shared world game.
It's not an MMO. They couldn't use that term. It would be lying.
Yeah, but there's plenty of games that are instance like that and only allow
live
12 players, and they still call them MMOs. I mean, look at
They're not.
I know,
MMOs.
But they do.
But at least they're being honest. They're not trying to trick people into thinking it's an MMO because it's not.
Yeah. But
I don't think it's the same thing.
But this is worse then because
it is. No, I agree. I just think I'm going to give Bungie credit. I think they're being more honest. But yeah, this is worse. This is them. It's not episodic, but it'll come out in portions. It's like a 5-part meal, I guess. I don't know. You just can't eat it all at once.
So they're
This
going
is
to call
like
this.
taking the idea behind season passes and making it worse.
They're going to call it the 5-course game.
Yes, the 5-course game.
But it's not
It's
episodic.
not episodic. It's one meal, Vern. It's one meal.
Right,
All right.
because they don't stand on their own. Each
That's
episode
right.
doesn't stand on its own. It's a full game.
That's right. It's like having 5 different boxes of Oreos. Okay? You got 5 boxes.
Though.
Yeah, different flavors. But it's a 5-course meal of Oreos.
But they don't stand on their own because there's like a story told from Oreo
Wait,
flavor.
do we know how long the main game is going to be before?
No, I haven't said.
Well, then why don't we wait to find out how big the actual... have they come out and already said that it's gimped? Do we have any evidence that it's gimped because of this?
Yeah, you're not getting it to play it all. You're not getting to play it all at once.
We don't have
Yeah,
any
but that's the
evidence of
thing.
anything.
I'm wondering if... the part you can play, is it the size of other Hitmans? Or is it...
The levels are much larger. But
That's
we
the
don't
thing.
know
I'm wondering what you get here on day one. Because could it just be that you're getting on day one and they're basically throwing in the season pass and you're getting whatever else they're working on later? I mean, if it's as big as a normal Hitman game on launch, then I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. That's all.
Well, no, but the point is that the game isn't going to be finished. They want our help to finish it. It's as far as I'm concerned, right? I'm not against new delivery methods. I'm against the fucking shit way that they want to describe it. It's ridiculous. It's a terrible idea, and they need to delay it to June or September next year or something, and just release it as a proper game. It's going to bomb. It's going to bomb releasing like this. It's a stupid idea.
It's the future of gaming, okay? It's the future of gaming.
They're not the ones that are going to pioneer it.
Yeah, it's dumb.
All right, well, moving on. Xbox One Elite controller release date revealed by retailers. October 27th, people. It's confirmed.
mine.
It's confirmed. Halo.
Me and Dusty already decided we're going 11:55 to GameStop.
This is really uncool because now I have to wait for you guys to even be able to play Halo 5.
Yep.
And you
No,
guys
but-
wouldn't. But see, I should go and wait at midnight and
You're
make
gonna
you
have to
guys
wait
wait
till-
another hour.
You're going to have to wait till
No, wait,
12:05.
pause. I will totally do that, Vern. I will wait for you. I will wait for you, Vern. I will sit there with an Elite controller in my hands, with Halo
It'll be like
installed, ready
1:30
to
in the
go,
morning for you.
and I will be like, for Vern. I will
I
totally
got a better
wait.
idea. I think we should just play it that night and then wake up early and go get our controllers and then continue playing the next day.
But then I wouldn't be able to get my controller till 10 o'clock when GameStop opens.
Yeah, but you'd be able to play Halo sooner.
See, we're going to go there at
What?
11:55
I got a question.
and be out of there at 12:05.
I got a
so
question.
It's not going to be...
What if me and you play, just figuratively, a round of Halo, play some multiplayer, go right off the bat, just jump right into it, and then we move on, and I send Jason out to get my controllers while we play.
Yeah.
And when he comes back, I have an Elite controller.
I'm just going to pick up mine and leave yours there. So,
Yeah,
That'd
no,
be
and you
such
can
a
get
dick
Maria to go
move.
and get yours as well.
you know, it's also a dick move sending me to the store while you play the game.
Yeah.
So,
I spent $300 on controllers, damn it. Alright, I see how it is.
We need to figure this out. But I will tell you, Maria got the Lunar White controller,
Yes.
which is the newer controller. It's got the improved bumpers. It's got the 3.5 jack. That controller is nice, man. The diamond grip on the back is super comfortable. If you're a person who gets sweaty hands, it's pretty nice too when you play. And then what's cool about the 3.5 jack, it works way better than the headset adapter. It's quite a bit louder, and you can set the side tone to a decent level, which is pretty cool. So I definitely recommend getting the new controllers. And currently there's a deal at GameStop going on where if you trade in your controller, you get $35 toward one of the newer controllers, and that includes the Lunar White and the Halo Special Edition controllers, but not the Elite. Maybe they'll do
not the Forza.
And not the Forza, yeah. Well, the
Sadly.
Forza is only available at the Microsoft Store right now, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
But it's
Yeah.
funny that you can trade DualShock 4 and the Xbox One
Yes, you
controller
can.
towards it.
So if you got an extra PS4 controller you don't want, which...
You found out that there's no games anyway, and especially split-screen co-op games, you could just take it in.
Could.
I think that's meant as a ruse for people that use them for PC.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. Get the Elite controller. It's amazing.
But, yeah, the new controllers are nice. Really, really.
And now, to be fair, those controllers are not normal price. From what I saw, the Halo ones are $70.
yeah,
it's not,
the Lunar White's $64.99.
Okay.
But
So
the
even, yeah.
when
That's
the
not bad
regular
then.
when the regular black controllers come out that have the improved bumpers and the 3.5 jack, I think those are going to be $59.99 still.
Yeah.
I've actually ordered one of those.
Do the newer controllers have the diamond grip on the back, or is that just for the special edition controllers in general?
I don't know. Maybe it's a way to compensate people for the awful gold on them.
The only thing that I'm disappointed about with the new controllers is that they lack any of the IR stuff, so I can't wirelessly sync them. That kind of makes me sad, but
Is that
it's a
true?
small
You can't
complaint.
just press the button and show you
Nope.
to the
It
Kinect?
has no IR.
Oh, okay. But you can do the wireless firmware updates, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
So,
All right. Well, at least you only have to sync to it once, you know? But,
Unless you use the same controller on PC, too.
well, then get over it.
you can just plug it in the USB port, and that's...
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's
unless
pretty
you want to
easy.
use it wirelessly. I mean, look, that's...
Well, they don't have the wireless adapter out yet anyway, so...
Soon. It's coming soon, thankfully. And then Major Nelson, while we're on the subject of controller and accessories, he teased the chat pad, and that thing looks fucking awesome. I can't wait for that.
It
And
is
he showed
really
it on the
nice.
Elite controller.
Well, what's nice
Yeah.
about it has the volume controls on the chat pad. So if you hook up a regular 3.5 headset to it, you can just do that right on the fly. It's also got 2 customizable buttons, which can be used for screenshots and video.
Yeah.
So it's pretty awesome. I might pick up 2 of those come November.
I've got one of those orders. I'm not getting the Elite though.
You're not elite enough, bruh.
Not man, you plug that thing into the Elite.
Yep. Thankfully, that was answered, too, because I was kind of wondering if it would work with the Elite. Thankfully, it does.
All right, well, moving on. The Xbox interview with Phil Spencer on Halo, the future of VR, and being nice. So, Phil Spencer subscribes to the belief of don't be a dick. It's cool to have a rivalry, but don't be a dick.
Where's Tim Dog when you need him?
Yeah. I don't want to go through this whole article, but
it was a good article.
it's a good article. Check
But
out GameSpot and read about this great
Well,
little
people have been pulling all sorts of news stories from just this one article. It's been like a steady drip, as it usually is when a big interview like this happens.
And, of course, the response to him saying... I guess this kind of goes into him saying he finds the console warring distasteful and all that. And there's either been a great response to it, and a lot of people going, "That's awesome," and that should be the way these guys feel about it and talk about it, or it's an awful as hell response, and people are just complete assholes about what he said.
and just proving him right.
Yeah.
Oh no, my favorite comments so far are, he wouldn't say this if he was winning.
Yeah, that one.
But what people don't seem to be able to do is to actually... Well, there's several things that they can't really do. One, they don't seem to understand the concept of an interview, and this is something that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't proclaim things. He never proclaims things. He's always replying either in interviews, which is where you ask a bloody question, or on Twitter, where someone asks him a question, he replies to the question. But they also then don't actually read what he said in the context of what he said in. He didn't turn around and say specifically that console war. Like, you can have debates. Like, he wasn't against that. He was specifically against the divisiveness and vitriol
Yes.
of certain places, and that's all over the place. There's not one place where that's specific. He doesn't like vitriol, and nobody likes vitriol. Sony don't like it, Nintendo don't like it, Valve don't like. I mean, I'm not going to list everyone.
Well, because
Nobody
they've
likes
all
it.
been on the end of it, you know. They're the opposite end of
Exactly.
it, so like,
And them losing the console war, I think he'd have probably thought this like 15, what year in 2000, like 17 years ago when he was part of the Microsoft Money team or some crap. Paying attention to what he actually said has nothing to do with when you're losing. And also, console wars also is very different to business. Like console war, he doesn't like get Tomb Raider exclusively for however many months. I think, oh yeah, I just won the console wars. That's business.
yeah.
It's also completely not the same. But people don't seem to be able to comprehend that, or if they do, they just choose to ignore it.
No, but even the jabs that Sony made at Microsoft weren't like. Yes, there's a rivalry and they're competitors. Like the whole
They were good jabs.
We can trade games by just showing a picture of us handing a game to one another. Great jab. Do a jab.
funny.
Like that. That's fine.
It's clever. Yeah.
But it like literally being a console warrior on a forum, none of them are into that. Like that's not their thing. Like fuck you and your games and ours are better. Da 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 da. Like. They're bad jabs. They're not like they're not there for that. And all honesty, all it does is stroke the ego of a very small community, which is us. Like it's not. It doesn't reach mass market. Like yes, if you do a funny photo, that'll reach mass market because you're going to get people talking about like trading games and stuff like that. But some bullshit like remark about one another, it's not going to help them in the long run.
Well, it was stupid too. People were saying about this future of VR stuff. He pretty much said that he wouldn't like a future where VR was the main way
was
of gaming.
the only thing,
only form of gaming. Yeah, and I mean, no one wants that, honestly. But the thing was, he wasn't even talking about VR. He was talking about VR and AR.
AR,
Yeah, he was talking about his own tech that he is going to be pushing pretty soon with HoloLens, and he was saying that about it. Yet people were coming out and saying it's because Sony has Morpheus coming out. So like Steve said, read the damn interview. Just read the damn interview.
Yeah. And the sort of something else that I thought was funny was that people then started popping up with like quotes that Microsoft have made over the years, like Yusuf Mehdi pointed out when they announced the Titanfall full exclusivity, he said, sorry, PlayStation 4. I mean, look, it was a bit classless, it was, and there's been plenty of things over the years, but they seem to think that retroactively, before he was head of Xbox, he is somehow to blame for these decisions that other people made. And yet somehow that means that actually they will love console wars. And the thing is, Yusuf Mehdi, it was a little bit classless what he said.
No, but it's the same kind. No, I would argue that's the same kind of jab.
It's a kiddie joke.
It's a jab. Jabs are fine. Like it was
the same kind of jab as look. I can trade games by handing it to my friend.
You could say that was classless because there was no trade-in system.
It was classless because it was wrong.
But it doesn't matter. Like it was a jab, and it was a good jab on both sides. Like it doesn't matter. Like the fanboyism on GAF and on Reddit and Twitter and all this, there's a certain level of, hey, Dustin made a funny picture on his Twitter. That's awesome. That's cool. I like that. It gets like the hype train. It gets things going. Like they love that. That's cool. But if I honestly made just like photos of me bashing Sony executives or shit like that, Aaron wouldn't retweet that. He wouldn't. It would just be like, wow, that's very distasteful.
He wouldn't retweet it.
Well,
he would favor it.
and to get people to get back to people like Aaron Greenberg and Larry Herb and whoever else is tweeting. If you notice, they haven't been very aggressive with that kind of stuff since Phil Spencer took over. Actually, more since the Xbox One didn't launch very successfully compared to what they hoped it would be. So
I mean, Yusuf Mehdi's not even been seen in public in 2 years.
Yeah, they just keep him all
actually he
just
has,
away.
Just not in the
he was in the Windows stuff. The Windows
it happened I think like twice. Yeah.
Well, actually, he
Actually, I was
talk
talking
about anything about Xbox
on the subject
or
of Yusuf Mehdi. I was talking to Southbound, and he met him personally. Like, as far as his conversation, apparently Yusuf Mehdi is a pretty down-to-earth, cool guy. It's just
sure
he
he
got
is.
stuck in a bad position. And he even straight up said to Southbound that all the shit happened, like, with Don Matrick and shit. You know, none of them really, like, they weren't sitting there, like, it's not like he went over, that submarine one, yeah, I came up with that. That was my... They didn't like that guy as much as anyone, because even Southbound was saying, walking up to Don Matrick at, like, E3 or stuff, he was just an asshole. Like, the guy was just a
I
douchebag.
can't verify that with Southbound.
No,
That's truth at all.
Southbound, believe me, if anyone knows, it's going to be Southbound Tim,
I've
the guys that
never
are actually
seen
there at those
any
parties with
have any
Aaron and...
problems with Don Matrick, actually. None. You know, he never really, even during the whole thing, he didn't say anything, you know. Even Phil Spencer, remember? He didn't even have any problems.
You've met them at parties?
I haven't met them at parties.
In public?
But saying
No,
that you
but
meet
Jason,
somebody around them-
just to throw it out there, Jason, you're talking. It's hearsay.
yeah,
What
it's
you're
like,
talking about
Well,
is pure hearsay.
yeah, of course.
And we're not going
So
to
is
talk
me
about
saying
hearsay.
nice things. But...
No, but we're not going to comment on hearsay. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, some other guy said he's a dick. Like, that's not. We're not here to do that. It's hearsay. We've already talked about our feelings on Don Matrick on the show. Tim went off about how he did not like him on the show once. And I'm going to be clear. I have no problems with any of them. Like,
yeah, I don't
they
either.
were bad marketing decisions? Yes. When the Xbox originally came out. Was Don Matrick in charge? Yes. He is to blame, if anybody. But I'm not going to sit there and ridicule the man. Like, it's dumb.
Yeah, we don't know how he... We don't really know what type of person he is.
We should look at what he did as a gift, because I think Xbox One is getting more games and better games than we'd probably get otherwise, because they need it.
Yeah.
We should be thanking him. Okay, I probably won't go that far, but you know.
But do we really know if he did? Yeah, I mean, like, even if he did,
Look,
we wouldn't get more games.
Eric, this is what we know for sure. The first year and some change, it was all Don Matrick when it came to games. He's the one that set him up. He was in charge of getting those things in development.
He got Quantum Break in development, right? That game.
Well, no, I mean, Phil Spencer was doing the Microsoft Studios stuff still.
No, but he was still in charge of Phil Spencer. If he didn't want those games in development, they wouldn't have been in development.
That's true.
Like, you can't just say, well, Phil's great at his role, but now that's like me saying, well, let's not thank Phil now because he's in charge. Who's in charge of Microsoft Studios right now? Like, who's in Phil's position? That's who we need to thank. No, like, he's the head. If Don Matrick's going to get the shit for, like, all the bad things, you got to give him the positives for the positive things.
Yeah,
like, he had good games for the first year. It wasn't all Kinect bullshit. It was literally good games the whole time.
And also, did you think, I meant to ask you, Dustin, because you brought something up very smart. Remember when he was on stage, I think he made a comment, or was he on stage when he said they invested $1 billion in games, right? So if he invested $1 billion in games and he was bragging about that was more than the competition, I would think that he would continue. It wouldn't be like, oh, we invested $1 billion, we're just going to fall back now.
But if it was $1 billion in Kinect games, we would have saw those Kinect games. And we never did. We didn't get Kinect Sports Rivals for a while.
So they never really had any. It was all tied to, like, probably big exclusives, like big AAA titles.
I'm sure Forza took up quite a bit of that $1 billion.
Probably.
I bet Titanfall was probably more than any internal game.
Probably.
Yeah.
I agree with that, Steve.
Forza Dead Rising probably took quite a bit.
Halo 5.
After seeing how that's turned out, it's probably has.
And when they say investing in the games, I'm sure that also means marketing.
So we gotta give props to Don Matrick. We gotta give him a high five,
No, I wouldn't give him a high five. Like, there are decisions that he made that were awful. Like, there's no question about it. There's things he did that were just. I hate to say unforgivable. Unforgivable, it's the word I'm going to use. Like, it's just, no, I'm not going to high-five him. Like, he almost ruined the Xbox completely.
He
He doesn't
He
even get out.
refused. He wasn't a visionary. He had no concept of what was next because, he turned up in 2007 when Xbox 360 was already out. Yes, he took it to the next level, but they already had Kinect there. He just got them to actually release it, and that was great. And they made an absolute fortune with that. But he was completely unable to take the product to the next level. And to be fair, if he'd have stuck around.
Wait, but can I ask you a question, Steve? When you mean the next level, what do you mean by that? Like the next level, we gotta understand, like the way he so look at the Xbox One, how it is now, the hardware. It's not like Phil Spencer was on the, he was in the games part, right? He wasn't at the top, All these decisions about making the operating system how it is, having the certain games there, having Halo 5, coming out much later, but at least we got a reveal for it. I think that was all on his side, so we got to think about that for a minute. Okay, we got to think.
He was the one in charge when they wanted to.
So maybe he had a forward vision, but sadly his mixed messaging betrayed him.
He didn't. He just seemed to think that Kinect sold tons on Xbox 360, so therefore it was going to do the same thing on Xbox One.
It actually would have if Sony
not
wasn't
just
around.
that. Like if you look at stats for the 360. And I don't agree with the premise, but people watched more TV through the 360 than they did play games. Like, they thought TV and Kinect was going to be a giant hit. They were like, look, this is the future. You're going to be able to talk to it. You have the HDMI pass-through. Google TV kind of took off. We can take this to the next level.
You know what? I think they were right, but I think the issue was that doesn't sell to a hardcore fan base who's going to spend $400 to $500 on a console at launch.
I agree.
That's something that that's something that happens later in the generation, which is what happened.
That's the big misstep.
The Kinectless SKU should have been there at launch, straight up. I mean, that's just.
Well, the thing is that also all this multitasking stuff that they wanted to do, they ended up getting beat at their own game because Sony managed to get the same amount of RAM, but without the SRAM, which was costly, which then inhabited the rest of it. And ultimately, the entire plan for Kinect for TV and stuff actually ended up costing them everything. That's the reason why they're doing terribly now. The entire plan was flawed.
Nobody's saying it didn't blow up in their face. It definitely blew up in their face. But to say that Don Mattrick didn't have actual games planned is crazy. Games were in development. They come out. He had hardcore games. He was ready for the hardcore gamer.
You remember that game?
It's just the messaging was awful.
I think the structuring of the company was an issue too.
Yeah.
Like the hardware and the software sides were so at odds with each other. Hardware were doing their own thing, games were doing their own thing, and there was no one to really bring the two together. And what they ended up doing with Phil Spencer by having a head of Xbox and getting rid of those separate heads of different parts, everyone's communicating with each other, and it's just all one gaming division essentially. Yeah. And I think that's improving things. And
they also didn't. They had all the DRM, which, they talked about cloud stuff, but okay, they had the Titanfall stuff, and that was alright, and the driver tiles. But it's taken them 2 years to show a tech demo to show us exactly why we should care about the cloud. And it's the fact that they even put all these Kinect stuff in motion, but Kinect Sports Rivals didn't hit launch. They couldn't even back up the things that they did back with anything that was actually
because it wasn't meant to launch then.
Well, yeah, but that's what they still built themselves around.
Whoa! For Kinect Rivals, though, it was delayed, yes, but when it came, it's still I don't even know how. I still didn't get to play it. I played the actual demo. Thought it was cool, but I don't even know how it did so bad compared to the other one. That was crazy.
Oh, it sold incredibly poorly.
Well, yeah, but that was because that user base just didn't exist on the console.
It didn't exist. Oh.
But all right, well, we're kind of rehashing.
Oh yes, we are talking too much about Don Matty. Yeah,
this is a rabbit hole we shouldn't go down. We can talk about it all night about the screw up at the beginning.
But we're in a good place now.
Yeah, we're in a good place.
We're in a good place. Phil Spencer's a good leader, and the other guys like Aaron Greenberg and Larry Herb, they're on the social media websites and they're chatting with fans and everyone's excited. So. They're doing a good job. I don't have major criticisms. So,
I bought Kinect Sports Rivals 2. Wicked. I did too.
It's not a bad game.
It's a good game. It's a solid game.
Unskippable cutscenes, but great game.
Hey, the bowling's a lot of fun. That's all I know.
Yes, it is.
It's still fun to this day.
Climbing's
it's
pretty fun too.
Yeah. All right. Well, where are we moving on to? We're moving on to a whole new section of the show because we're done with news. Unless anybody
That
has
was
any other
it?
news. That's it. That's it for the news. We're done.
No more news.
Jesus.
Games with gold.
Games with no. That's well. I mean, games with gold.
How
Well,
about
it's-
Halo 5?
Halo 5 isn't. That's. It's not really news. We'll talk about it, but that's a different part.
Hunt the truth.
Hunt the Truth. Yeah, let's talk about Hunt the Truth, I guess. Is it news? No.
Yeah. The
not.
news is that Hunt the Truth Season 2 has started.
Yeah, okay, it started. Now
And
we
you
could
should
do
log-
a separate
we should
section
listen
that we could
to-
talk. We're going to have a Halo section, which is all Hunt the Truth, the Halo 5 campaign gameplay. And we'll talk about that. But before we get there, I wanted to ask Steve. Steve? How are you doing, Steve?
Tell you what, I'm feeling better than when I started. I feel like, there were some things that were irritating me, like Hitman and some of this Phil Spencer stuff. And I've got it off my chest. I'm wearing my Battletoads t-shirt now, and the Toad feels good.
Steve, now that you feel good, what's coming out? What are the feel-good games for next week?
Okay, there doesn't appear to be much in the way of indie games. There's a twin-stick shooter called Femi's Path coming apparently this evening. I haven't seen it pop up yet.
Me and Vern are going to be right on it.
On Sunday, we have Lego Dimensions, which is obviously the Lego Toys to Life game. Did anybody see the Alison Brie trailer? I'm going to take that as a no.
I need cricket soundboard. That's what I need.
I like Alison Brie.
I would marry her.
Alison Brie's great.
She's on my list. It was a good trailer, as much as I don't care about Toys to Life.
She's a Mrs. Steve Rules candidate.
Oh yeah, definitely. She'd make the list.
Her and Camilla.
Her and Camilla, yeah. Katy Perry. We digress. On Tuesday is NBA Day, 2K16 and NBA Live 16, both launching, and NBA Live is on EA Access today, I believe. That's another piece of news. And also, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I can think of something else to call the PS in it, but I won't say it on air.
$59.99. I can't believe they're charging a full $60 for that game.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's what it is.
I'm trying to be polite, but
It doesn't look like a $60 game. It looks like a $20 game.
it looks like a $20 game.
$15.
$10.
$10.
And finally, on the 30th, we have The Escapist Walking Dead edition, which is obviously The Escapist, which is the sort of pixel art game where you escape from prisons, mixed with Walking Dead. So that's, as far as I can tell, that's it for releases. It's a pretty light period.
We're all playing Destiny, the Taken King anyway.
That's a very interesting definition of everyone. But yeah, so as far as I can tell, that's what there is. So, not a very exciting week. I'll skip all that.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Steve, for doing the legwork on that and figuring out what's coming out next week for me to buy. I appreciate it. Well, not to buy. I'm not buying any of that shit.
Can we announce the games with gold, though?
Games with gold? What's going on with games with gold?
I was going to say, are we going to talk about Minecraft and Oculus?
Yeah, that too, man.
Yeah.
Minecraft,
big news. Notch kept saying, no. Notch is
but
gone.
Notch can't say no.
Microsoft went, why the fuck not?
Well, he only said, they were in talks to do it, and then he cancelled it because they got bought by Facebook. And he was asked about it today, and he said, well, Facebook still creeps me out, but I'm really pleased it's happening because I like the tech. But I think it was an inevitable part of their deal with Oculus, and I bet they haven't said it's exclusive either, but it will only be sold through the Windows 10 store, as you'd expect. So I think that they'll probably have that for, is it Vive or whatever the crap.
No, everything.
You won't be able to buy it in the Oculus store that's in the...
Apparently not.
No, it's a Windows only game, like Windows Store only game.
Well, no, but Oculus has their own store for the device from what we've seen, at least from the initial reveal.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they're going to work it into that and have it run through, Windows 10 at the same time, or
I'm curious
through their
how they
store.
do it. Yeah.
Yeah. You probably have to be connected to their servers and everything, because that's how that works, though. So
But maybe their store will act like Steam and just see that there's a game that supports Oculus. And just grab it once you own it, and it shows up in your game library.
So technically, you're still buying it through the Windows 10 store.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious how they go about this, but it's a good fit. I mean, people who play Minecraft and are interested in VR, I mean, this is pretty exciting for them.
Yeah. And it'll give people with low-end computers a game that they can actually play in VR.
Yeah, it won't take much to run.
It won't take up much resources, yeah.
And it's the Pocket Edition, right, essentially?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
it's the Windows 10 one, which is based on Pocket, so yeah.
So that means you'll still be able to play with other people who aren't even using VR headsets, probably.
No, yeah, definitely.
And that's including people who are playing the mobile version, too, right?
Uh-huh, yeah. Somebody could... You could have your kid on an iPad playing Minecraft Pocket Edition in your world on PC while you're wearing an Oculus Rift, walking around with them.
While someone else has a HoloLens headset on. And
yes, they're also playing at the same time. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But
hopefully they get the Xbox One version into that same loop as well.
And I don't think this is going to be an issue with the HTC VR headset, seeing as Microsoft and them already announced a partnership for Windows to fully support it. Like
they might be in the same one as well, yeah.
Do you think they can support PlayStation VR?
I think that's up to Sony. I don't think Microsoft's
No way.
No, but if Sony has to be the ones that develop drivers for Windows, and Microsoft will put them on the Windows Store just to have default drivers, and if it'll work that way. I don't think you're ever going to get official support.
Do you think the PlayStation 4 version of Minecraft is going to get PlayStation VR support?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think the PlayStation 4 is going to get
I think
game
Microsoft
patches and skins, and that's it. I think
Microsoft is. I think they're working towards having the Windows 10 edition Minecraft take over all versions of Minecraft. It's just going to take a while to catch it up to everything.
The reason I don't think it's coming to VR coming to PlayStation Minecraft is because it wouldn't work on the Xbox version of Minecraft, and it would literally be something that Sony could say, "Hey, our version of Minecraft has features that the Xbox version doesn't." I think they'll keep that apart. They won't support it.
Well, yeah, or like what Jason was just saying, though, they're all going to move to this Windows 10 version of Minecraft eventually. Yeah. And guess what? Console doesn't have Windows 10 on it, PS4, so it won't get it.
Yeah,
they'll support the PS4 version with, I guess, like you said, maybe skins and those what do you call them?
They'll get patches,
adventure packs, and. And they'll get the features and things like that, but it won't get that. It won't get that extra stuff, obviously. Yeah.
Let's not even start on the PlayStation thing, because I don't want to even start on the price of that thing. I don't.
Yeah,
that's a whole other discussion.
News.
I mean, we could.
Console.
Yeah.
It's the price of a new console.
Microsoft.
$400 plus.
We don't know what's $400. We don't know what's $400.
He said price of a new console.
He didn't say price of a new console.
He said price of
a new platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at their new platforms. Let's roll back time. PS3, $600. PS4, $400.
$400.
So if we go off of a new platform price,
it's going to be $300 to $400.
PS Vita was $250.
Yeah.
Right.
PS4 might be $350.
So
maybe
we're looking at $300 to $400 price range.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll get delayed.
$300 to $400 price range. I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think it's dead in the water if it comes out at that price.
Oh, no, I don't think that price is insane, though. I think you can expect that for Oculus and every other VR headset you're going to look at.
It's not an insane price, but as far as mass adoption...
it's never going to be mass adoption.
It'll just be an enthusiast product, and it won't make money, and Sony will give up on it, just like they did with the Vita. So
I completely agree. But I don't think it's an outrageous price for anybody that says it's not outrageous. Like guess what? That's what VR is going to cost you. And if you were going to do it on PC, get ready to pay $400 for your Oculus Rifts to actually have a $2,000 PC to sit there and pump the latest and greatest games through it.
Well, those displays are expensive on those headsets.
No, they are. And it's not like they're not going to try to make a profit off of it. It's not like they're going to sit there, let's make a loss on every PlayStation VR headset. Like, no, it's dumb. Like, they're going to make a profit on it. And
well, they have to, because they're not going to make much money.
They're
the
a public company. They can't just give shit away. Like,
well, and they're not selling it to so many people that they can make money off of all the games coming out.
But I do see it as, like they said, it's a new platform. So expect this PlayStation VR to hook up to the PS5. Like, it's going to be a headset that moves on.
Yeah,
the only problem is the only problem with this thing is no matter the price, like where it's going to have to compete with others is you're going to need, if you want the full effect, you want everything to work with it, you're going to need the camera and you're going to need the Move controllers.
Yeah, and it bumps up the price.
It bumps up at least $130. So it starts.
Says, but if it's cheaper than Oculus, given that they have a big install base, people might just give it a better alternative. I don't think so. Like Jason just said, you have to buy the camera, you have to buy the Move controllers, you have to buy the headset, and then the
not
PS4.
To mention Oculus will have higher. It'll be a higher spec standard.
And the person that's willing to spend that much money on
this guy.
That's what I mean. Those people, though, are more likely PC gamers than they are PlayStation 4 gamers.
Yeah,
that's why Valve and Oculus's VR will be successful, because they're on a platform. Well, let's put it this way: someone in this room owns a GTX 980.
I also think I also think Oculus and Valve have a more realistic idea probably of how many units they're going to move and what kind of growth they expect with this platform. I think they're thinking small and then growing. They're not thinking come out the gates.
Now, here's a question: do you think they shot themselves in the foot by calling it PlayStation VR?
No.
Well, what I mean is, as far as selling it to PC gamers. Because they could be ending up in the same problem Microsoft ended up with, like when they called their TV and music service Xbox Music. People are the mass market's gonna think, so I need a PlayStation for this.
Yeah, no, but you know what's interesting? What if
this is a PlayStation only device, so I'm gonna buy the Oculus.
You will need a PlayStation though.
As of right now, they have never announced PC support.
PC support? Well, that just kills it right there.
But that was always their point. Sony aren't a PC company.
No.
It was always PlayStation 4 only. It would be good if they actually gave drivers.
It's not going to be good. It's going to be their only option. They're going to have to support PC at some point, because that's where the market is that will buy these devices.
And that's where the majority of the games.
They'll just stop support and not make it anymore rather than move to PC.
Well, yeah, I'm saying. You're saying the realistic thing. I'm saying,
but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think was
they're just going to veto it.
No, they very well could just extend it to PlayStation 5.
No, it'll just be like they said. It's a new platform, and I completely believe that it is a platform unto itself.
But they could veto it. Yeah, maybe.
I think if the smart thing they could do, if this is going to be a PlayStation only device, is make a very limited amount of them, not invest too much money, and use that as
a testing
step for the next one that will be the one that will launch with the PS5 or something.
I actually think they have an advantage, even though people don't think they do. Like, say you go in a store, and you're like, okay, the Oculus Rift costs $400, right? Then you got to buy a $1,000 PC to run it, or more. If you look at it together, it's cheaper to get the PS4 and that, because we know there's going to be another price drop.
But here's the catch. The catch is people already have these massive computers, Eric. And in the market that are going to be into VR are the people with the massive computers. And they're going to sit there and go, I'll drop $300 on an Oculus. Like, why the hell not? I get a controller, I get the Oculus, pop it on, and you know what?
Not to mention
it's gonna
the
look
game
better.
selection and the quality of the games running
But
on
but aren't the games the same though? Like I've seen
No,
for
they're
PlayStation
not. Like
VR.
they're talking.
Like any-
no, wait,
look.
Jason, stop. They're saying that there's going to be about 10 games at launch, maybe 12 or something for PlayStation VR.
Oh.
That is fucking tiny compared to the games that are already out right now for Oculus.
Yeah.
Like Oculus is going to fucking stop PlayStation VR when it comes to catalog.
Yeah,
And I
people
hope people aren't fooling themselves into thinking the games on PS4 are going to look as good as what you're going to get on Oculus. Like they're not.
They did make it so. Okay, what they're doing is actually doubling the frame rate from 60 to 120, but they just announced that they're adding a 90 hertz mode to the PlayStation VR headset. So that means they can run games at 45 frames per second, double that to 90. And that's how they're going to get by with introducing better graphics than what we've seen at E3, I'm assuming.
I want to know how that doesn't make you fucking sick, though. I'm really
I'm
curious.
curious how it works, too.
Like, that sounds really odd. Because even, like, all the Oculus guys are like, fucking, it's hard. Like, even, it's like 120, it's hard to get people from getting sick. And
But I
the
think
idea of a
that's-
game running at 45 and being able to do it.
I think that's how they're going to try to compete graphically, at least so it doesn't look awful.
Yeah.
You know?
The success of this device is going to be on how much they get out there and get to Best Buys. And like if they get a PlayStation VR in every single Best Buy in the country and like have stations everywhere for people to try them out, I think that's the best way they could sell this thing. And I really hope they do because more competition's the better. I would love to see something they invest in succeed. I don't mean that everything they invest in doesn't succeed. I'm saying, I would like to see their investments go forward,
But
and
I
not
think
just
PS5, you'll start to see cooler things. But maybe,
Do you think-
I don't know, this technology's in a weird spot. Like, everybody, like, a year ago thought it was going to be the most amazing thing of all time. Everybody says you got to experience it to understand. I get all that. But the amount of work, effort, and cost, I don't think people want. Just
yeah.
I still do think people will put these things on and be impressed, though. I'm
No,
sure
no,
I will
totally,
be.
totally. Like I think it'll blow your mind. But when I say Vern, every time you want to play video games, you need to put on this fucking headset. You need to do this and this, and
Well, we don't
You gotta
know
adjust
the
the-
long-term effects of wearing one of these things for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
You think you might get hurt or sick?
You never know. What if
then
it
you could
hurts your
destroy
neck?
your eyes.
What if it hurts your neck or your back just from having
Oh.
this on? And they,
You know what? You're right because you sit too long. Yeah, that's true.
well, not
Or-
sitting so, but having the weight on your head, that you're not used to having, even if it's a small weight, it's going to be
Mess
heavier
up
than
your
like.
spine.
I was about to say the man
Responsible.
with headphones on, but
And then you get in the problem of people go to try this out at Best Buy or whatever, they have them sewn off, and it's like, okay, this is cool. How much does it cost?
Well, it's also wired.
$400, and then it's just like, am I really going to spend? And then you look at the games, and it's like, oh, this game requires the move controllers. So
But
in
you
order
know
to use
what?
the move
I
controllers,
think
I got to
it's-
have the camera.
I think it's what
So-
Carmack said. He said that the games market is going to be less than half. He said that's what he said recently. I think when he was at the Oculus conference, it sounds to me shockingly. Carmack is trying to tell us already that most of the content is going to be for like film. That's why we saw Netflix on stage announcing Oculus Rift support. So maybe that's where they will get the advantage. Somebody might sit there and they watching Saw on Oculus Rift.
But would
Or
you
so-
really want to? Because here's the problem. Like, I've personally never used VR, but every time I've ever heard anyone talk about it, the biggest negative they say is they still all experience the chicken wire effect. Would you really want to watch a movie with that? I mean, I understand the
if it's like
perspective.
Microsoft's thing. Remember, Microsoft had like a cool thing, like you feel like you're in a movie theater. That was cool. Maybe it was like
Yeah,
Yeah, but
That'll
that
be really
was
It's the
cool.
chicken wire effect.
So
It
the
may-
resolution at 1080p, Steve, is,
Even 4K.
It's not. No, 4K gets rid of it. But
Yeah,
at 1080p, when you look directly, if you get your head straight up on your screen and look directly at it, you can see pixels and you see lines, and that's the chicken wire. It looks like you're looking through a screen door, and the only way to get past that is 4K. And then 4K requires like with Oculus, like 2 980s.
Yeah, that's what the Oculus
a
Rift
huge
guys said
fucking
in the
CPU.
beginning for Facebook. Both
Like, 4K requires a lot of fucking power for fast movement. Like, it's...
Yeah.
4K at 120 frames per second is not an easy feat.
But
for
not
any
not
rig.
not for movies.
No, not for movies. You're completely right. But
Yeah.
for, like, gaming, it's a huge feat.
Yeah.
But, you know, you get the chicken wire effect in 1080p. So there's display technology that helps alleviate that. OLED does a good job with it, but you still see pixels because your eyes are right on top of it. You're looking. It's the display's dead on to the end of your eye to give you the 3D effect.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I think Sony is definitely getting a head start with this stuff over Microsoft as far as consoles. I mean, Microsoft, they have the Oculus support, but they don't have games getting ready and stuff like that, or their own hardware.
But they could always lean on other people. With, like, say this is the Xbox 2, and it comes out, and they can just say, hey, you know what? Fucking Oculus works on it. Like, just buy
God, I hope it's called Xbox 2.
Xbox.
Yeah. Microsoft has an advantage that they don't got to do anything. Basically, that's their advantage.
Well, yeah, they already have Windows 10 running that shit, so that helps.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the developers that they wouldn't have, like Rare and Lionhead and Turn 10 and 343i. I mean, those teams would have no experience with making VR games. That's where Sony would have a bit of an advantage if it does take off for the next generation.
But you know what, Vern? I don't understand that. I don't understand that one. I don't understand how Sony was able to get like some teams that just work on VR stuff. Like the guys,
because they own them.
Apparently,
the CEO walked up to him and said, "Hey, guess what? You're working on this now." And you know what? They said, "Yes, sir. I'm going to get my paycheck."
What teams do they have working on VR games? They got Gorilla Cambridge.
Yeah, Gorilla. Some Japanese developers. They're working on some games.
Well, I think that they haven't particularly told us all of their VR plans. Like, they've opened that new studio in the northwest of England called Studio Northwest, which is creative. And was it like Pixel Opus, the ones that released that new game last year? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're on it. You know, Sony Japan will be looking at things, and
it'll be their smaller teams, though.
Are we going to see a Kinect effect, though? Is this going to affect their lineup?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it already has. Degree.
Yeah, that's what I think, too. I didn't want to say it instantly, but
look at Gorilla Cambridge. They moved off of the PS Vita onto PlayStation VR. I think it's much more likely that their smaller teams, so the teams that would have been focused on Vita, move on to this. I mean, I think
but there has to be some AAA games for this thing that they're working
Gorilla
on.
Cambridge, if they weren't working on PlayStation VR right now, they might have had a game out already by now.
Wow.
Or they might have been closed.
Possible.
Who knows?
Yeah, but does anyone really want another Killzone right now?
From them, it might actually be pretty good.
If it's not built as a Halo killer, yes.
All right,
That
well,
might
let's
seem
move
like a
on
bloated
from
thing, but-
Oculus Rift discussion and all this other crap. We're getting long in the tooth.
Yeah.
Vern, I hear we got letters.
What about Games of Gold?
Games with Gold. Oh, Games with Gold. Walking Dead, Valkyrie, and what's the other one?
Valkyrie.
What the fuck is Valkyrie?
Valiant
Where did that
Heart.
come from?
I don't know. It might be a better game. It'll be a better
Where's
game,
Tom
okay?
Cruise?
All right. What's?
Okay, so on Xbox
What
One,
else?
it's The Walking Dead and Valiant Hearts. And on Xbox 360, it is The Walking Dead Season 1 as well, and Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes.
Steve's upset. I don't care. Vern
I think the Xbox One games are really good picks. I've already played both of them, so on one hand, I'm like, oh, that sucks. But on the other hand, hey, these are good games that people are going to be able to play, so it's definitely a value. The 360 games are terrible choices because one of them is already on is also being released on Xbox One the same month, so it's doubling up, which sucks. I mean, obviously, we're not going to see that starting next month. Starting November, because if they did that,
why they
people
did
would
it
be pissed off. Yeah, And then they also the Metal Gear Solid Ground Zeroes was already on Xbox One a couple months ago. So for the 360 games, it's really bad choices, and it's pretty upsetting for me and for many people. But the Xbox One game choices are good.
I don't know. Like I was telling Steve earlier, I think people need to get over it. There's 80 million people with Xbox 360s, and quite a few of them don't own Xbox Ones. So, and a lot of those people would like to have The Walking Dead and Ground Zeroes, even though we got them.
Well, how many people do you really think are going to be downloading these games on 360 and playing them?
Probably a lot. I mean, there's still tons of people on 360. That's the reason they're still supporting it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's dead. There's
It's getting dashboard
tons
updates.
of them out there.
Yeah.
And there's people that are going to enjoy these games. Like, it's not like I could understand if this was next month, the month where the games are starting to supposed to be cross-play. Then it would be like, why the hell are we getting a game on both the 360 and Xbox One? But now, right this second, today, I think it's a bunch of bitching over nothing.
Well, they can't do this start in November. They can't.
They can't.
It's really bad.
It doesn't work. I think that's exactly why they did it this month.
Yeah.
All right,
There's probably a deal they had.
Moving on.
It's letters time.
Adrift is delayed until 2016 according to one saint.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. I dealt with it. Wicked Soul says Walking Dead is poo. Screw you, Wicked. I'm going to tell you right now, Walking Dead is fucking amazing. I love it, and I'm going to probably play through both seasons again.
Unless he's talking about that one Walking Dead game that is actually poo. And then he's right.
Yeah.
That's true.
But,
Activision, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, Vern, we have letters.
We got 5 letters.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so we got to push through these, otherwise this show's going to go way too long. Okay.
We lost Steve, by the way.
We lost Steve. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, there he is. Oh, no, you're calling him back.
Calling him, yeah.
Calling him back.
Got mad because of what I said about games with gold. He's really mad about it.
Very upset. All right,
really
go for the first letter, Vern.
Okay, this first letter, I don't know who the writer is. Looks like, I'll just say Shola, Shola. Shola says, "Hi guys, I have been playing Destiny for about a year now, and recently with the release of The Taken King, the story was much improved. Still far below Halo, but it was better than the garbage of a story in the initial release. But after playing through all the story missions, I'm starting to find the game kind of boring with the end game. I often play with 2 other friends, and I enjoy my occasional raid with friends, but it's starting to feel like a massive waste of time. They have not improved any of the in-game social features. No new social areas like the tower. I think after a few weeks, the player base will see a massive drop-off, even bigger than that of the first year, in terms of fresh content and slacking for a $40 DLC. Result of The Taken King kind of fucked over many of my friends in Singapore who cannot afford the DLC currently. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the Destiny DLC? With the recent comments of the QA tester about the games this holiday, which games do you think are at risk of a broken launch? My guesses are Fallout 4, Battlefront, and COD. Single player. Both Ubisoft and Microsoft got a beat down last year, so I doubt it's them. Well, thank you for writing, Shola, and I guess we should talk about Destiny first. As far as it being worth $40, I think it's very worth $40. There's quite a bit of content. I know I agree with you that, I mean, the main content is pretty short, and then after that, it does feel like you're kind of just grinding. But that is what you get with a game like this, or that steals a lot from MMOs. So,
but I think, like you said in a few other conversations before this, is them mixing in that one DLC back into the main story really does help. Like it adds more missions and it makes it the main storyline better. But yes, the main story still kind of sucks. But The Taken King's great. As a person, I'll put it this way: Vern is always, well, not always. Vern is a very pro Destiny person now.
I am.
I can easily say that without contradicting myself.
Fallen to the dark side.
I, on the other hand, like Destiny. I think it's kind of like my new Diablo. It scratches that itch for me. I mean, we can sit there and kill a bunch of shit a few times, and then I can get off of it and not think about it. I don't actively go, man, I can't wait for Friday for that dude to show up in the store so I can put my gun in so I can get my new legendary. It's going to be great. Like, that's not me. That's Vern.
That's me.
That's Vern. Now, I think the Taken King for $40, like if they can't afford it, I don't think they're missing a ton. I think it's something they could definitely pick up later, and y'all can have a shitload of fun as a Diablo-style game.
They are missing a ton, though, because this is a very social game. So if you can't play with your friends...
No, but
really
your friends only have to be 6 people. It's not like it has to be... as long as y'all can all play at the same time.
Well, he's talking about his friends in Singapore who can't play because they can't afford the DLC.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who have just the base game. People who have just the base game... They're really missing out now because anyone who's playing this game for social reasons is doing the other content, So I understand that. I understand that part. I don't think it's a rip-off though to the people who bought the original game, but it does kind of suck for them.
Yep, but it's I'm glad.
I can't speak to the content of the game, but as far as the fall off of the community, I would say that. It's going to happen, but it being bigger than before is probably going to have more to do with the time of the year and the amount of games coming out, honestly.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of good shit coming out.
As far as having a drop-off, I mean, I think it'll have a drop-off. Every expansion for every game like this, it has a drop-off. Everyone buys it, they have record-breaking numbers, and then it settles back down.
It's like WoW.
Yeah, and then the hardcore players will play, and those people will try to collect every single weapon. They'll try to get every piece of armor. They'll work on, I guess, finishing raids with only one type of weapon, or trying to solo stuff, or all that good stuff you see in these types of games. So, if you really love a game like this, you're going to find ways to keep playing it.
No, but I think this game has something that most other games don't, because it's Diablo style. You can totally drop this game, play Halo, Fallout, whatever. Let's say 4 months from now, come back to it and still have just as much fun, because it's a loot grind. It's fun.
It's not WoW or Guild Wars 2, where it's kind of dependent on the people. If you started playing Guild Wars 2 when it first opened, and there's people absolutely everywhere, and you go back and play it now, and there's no one. Lower level, and it gives a completely different experience. Same with WoW. It's it's a lot funner when it's much more active.
This game doesn't have that issue because you're never in a world with 2,000 people,
100 people.
Well, and they make the leveling to max experience very quick.
Yeah, so you're not worried about 2,000. You're not worried about an empty world, because let's say there's only 1,000 people playing. That's easy to give. What is it? The tower has 12 people in it at a time, and then missions are max at 6 for raids and 3 for missions, and then maybe 12 in the world at a time. You're not really stepping over toes or anything. It's not going to be an issue of wow, this feels empty. You won't have that problem with Destiny.
And they do a good job with the instancing, so you always see other players running around. So it never really feels empty. And what else is nice about this game? If you're just hitting level 40 and you want to try out a strike, but you have a friend who is 40 with a crazy highlight level and would normally not have much to gain by playing with you, it doesn't work like that anymore. The way it works now, just killing enemies, even easy enemies, has a chance at dropping loot that's better than what you currently have. So for the player who would normally say, "Oh, I don't want to do that because I'm not going to get, the gear I want," well, they might say, "Oh yeah, I'll come and join you. I might be able to pick up 1 or 2 things, even though I'm doing lower level stuff." So
it's not a big deal.
Yeah, they did a good job with making it attractive for a higher level player to play with a lower level player.
And like I said, it has that Diablo grind, so you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you can just turn your brain off and shoot stuff.
It doesn't matter. Like I said, 4 months from now, Destiny will be just as good as it is today. You'll just be able to go around shooting stuff and have fun.
Unless you're one of those people who gets into the, I have to finish this raid before all my other friends kind of thing.
No, totally. That's that competition. It's there, but
that's like a zeitgeist kind of thing. Being in the moment.
If your friends can't afford it, I wouldn't sit there and worry about how nobody's ever going to play it. It's eventually once they can pick it up, you'll still have fun. It's not going to be an issue. But
They did a good job adding
Like I said,
some
4 out of 5.
stuff too.
4 out of 5.
They did a good job adding some secrets. Like just recently, there's an exotic sniper that someone figured out how to get by finishing a level really fast and then killing all these guys in some kind of 10-minute limit or something. Yeah. So if they keep things like this popping up and keeping the interest doing things like that, that's smart. And I think it'll last. And Bungie seems pretty smart with it lately. So this game's going to keep going.
And on another point, and we will stop talking about Destiny very soon. I hope Destiny doesn't get a Destiny 2. I want to see them continue to release expansions.
I agree.
I don't want to see a 2.0. Like, I just want to see, oh, this is going to be the new world, or this is the new map, or this is new whatever. Like, just do that. Turn this into a WoW model. Just release updates. Eventually, next year's big Destiny game is going to have to wrap up, like, 4 expansions in a game. Like, they're going to have to do it. If they're going to continue this model of just releasing updates. But I think that's the way to do it. Just not worry about it. Just go the WoW model. Go the MMO style. I
think we'll see 2 more mini expansions, kind of like with the first game and the 2 mini expansions. And I think next year we'll see another big game. So I think the next big one, though, they're going to have to do more than just one patrol zone like the current.
No, it needs to be a new
expansion.
Planet.
Yeah, I think they're going to need maybe 2 to 3 new planets.
No, I completely agree. Like it needs to be big. Like it needs to feel like a 2.0, but they need to keep everything on one disc.
Existing. Yeah. Well, they need to keep it in the same universe. Obviously, you have to be able to have your same character moving on. And they have to keep the tower, and they have to keep the reef. Or if they do keep the tower and the reef, they have to do some kind of world event that change. Or some kind of world of event. Maybe the tower gets destroyed and it's in a rebuilding process.
The Crucible.
But they'll have to add maybe a new social zone, a couple new planets. That'd be enough. That's what people want. They want to take these characters that they've been building and keep growing them, keep progressing them.
Because once they go, all your characters are kind of dead. You're gonna have to start again.
They're screwed.
They're done.
Yeah,
that franchise is dead if they do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're still getting Destiny 2 next year. That's what it will be called.
No, but it would be, if they release it, I'm putting my money on, it'll be Destiny 2, the expansion that locks into your old Destiny game. Like, it's not going to be you're not going to be able to play it off the same disc. It's still going to go with the same launcher. It'll be just like an MMO.
And people who have the original Destiny will still be able to play with the Destiny sequel people.
Yes.
But they won't be able to play the newer content. That's how it's going to have to be. It has to be.
I think they'll probably just stick all of the current stuff on disc.
Yeah,
No, I agree. Yeah, it'll be all on disc. They'll have to do that, but like it'll be part of. It'll just be Destiny. It won't be like a 2.0 like Halo 5, where it's not part of Halo 4. It'll be part of the universe.
And they'll do a character boost. That way you can get up to level and do the new content with your new friends if you haven't played the game in the past, or if it's been a while since you've played. So I imagine that's where they'll go, and I hope that's where they go. But anyway, next part of the question was about the broken games this holiday. Which games do we think are going to be broken?
COD.
Well, the rumor is Assassin's Creed Syndicate. That's the one that's been popping up today. So.
I'm going COD, because aren't they doing their own dedicated servers this year or whatever? I think that's going to be...
They've been doing dedicated servers the past 3 versions.
Sir.
Oh, have they? Oh, well, I think it's going to be broken, because it's just...
I vouch for Battlefront.
I'm going Battlefront too. That's such a good... I think Battlefront, I think they're going to add Levolution back to the game, and it's just going to keep crashing every time halfway in the match.
I don't think the question with COD is it going to be broken, but rather are they going to lie about dedicated servers again?
I don't know.
I think this time is for real. I don't know if you saw how it is.
Yeah, just like last time it was for real.
That's what I want on the box, Eric. I want that on the box. This time it's for real. Dedicated servers.
I can't imagine COD, because the problem with Ubisoft, right, is that they have this ridiculous cycle where they have like 1,000 different studios on it, whereas Activision, okay, they do have different studios on it, but they're pretty clear. They have the main studio, and they've gone from 2-year dev cycles to 3-year dev cycles. So I would be very surprised if COD had any problems. They're factories, but they're actually not trying to overdo themselves. Like they have sort of teams in between that work on them, but they have separate dedicated teams that do them. COD's going to be fine. It's going to be Assassin's Creed or Rainbow Six or Battlefront.
I don't think Rainbow Six, not with it being delayed.
Well, yeah, but it got delayed until December.
Yeah, but
It's
if they were
not-
willing to
it's not
delay
big.
to December, I'm pretty sure if it was broken that they'd delay it later. Because if
I
you've
think
delayed
there
it to
will be
December,
problems.
that's bad
I'm in
enough.
Rainbow Six Siege, and I have played a lot of games, but I do see it is a beta, but I do see that the connection thing, I can see it might be a problem after a while. Because if I'm playing like 3 games and then I get to that 4th one, and then dang, I'm waiting a while, I think it might be the one. And they only got 4 days, right, to get the information, the data.
But that's the only problem I could see that game having is connection issues. And I just don't...
connection issues.
Is Ubisoft really known for connection issues?
If Assassin's Creed Unity multiplayer is anything to go by.
Yeah, but that's
But
an
Unity
outlier.
overall was it was rough.
That's an outlier. I don't consider that to be a...
I don't think any games coming out this year are going to be as bad as what we saw with Assassin's Creed Unity and Master Chief Collection last year.
And Drive Club.
No.
And Drive Club, yes.
Before we move on, because it's related to Rainbow Six, thanks to Tim Dog, we have a code to give away for Rainbow Six. That's right.
Not the game.
Nice.
It's the beta.
Wow.
The beta.
Is this the Xbox One code?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want one of those.
Yeah,
The beta code.
none of us have one of these, by the way. Like, this is totally Tim, not us. So, right now it's in white. So, everybody in chat, there it is. It's up there. Go ahead, enter it. It's all yours. I'll even make it bigger. There it goes.
That's what you get for being in chat.
Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us and listening, So, there's a code. Enjoy it.
That's what you get for surviving Destiny.
Yes. You survive Destiny Talk, you get a code. You get a code.
Should have
All
a
right.
code every time you guys talk about Destiny.
It's like, we're sorry. Here's a code. All right. What next letter, Fern? Next letter.
Yeah, next letter is from Wicked Soul. The Plagiarizer is how he signed it. So anyway, he says, "Hey guys, I was asked this question last week by someone, and I thought I would steal it. What would you do for a living if you didn't have to worry about cost, consequences, and all that other stuff?" From Wicked Soul, the Plagiarizer.
Me personally, I would love to open up a podcast studio. Like, just where people, like, it would be a whole studio, cameras would all be set, people could just come in and do their own podcast. I would ask for a nominal, like, 10% fee, I think would be fair, if you ever started making money. And that way
You
could just...
charge them to come in as well.
No, it would be free for anything to come in, but once you start turning a profit, like 10%.
What would you call it?
I don't know. It would just be a studio where anybody can come in and record a podcast. I don't know what I'd call it. I don't have a name. I just know the
Podcast
concept.
studio.
Yeah, like it would have all the cameras set up, like soundboards, microphones. Everything would be ready to go. You could do your own backdrop, and you would just, the lighting would be done for you, and you could just come in and do a podcast. Like, and just, you'd schedule time out and do your show and leave, and then just have a actual podcast network that would do like a 24. I would want to be the Fox News of podcasts. I would want 24/7 podcast, just people in and out nonstop. Yeah,
That'd be fun.
yeah. But then, like I said, just once you start making a little money, like 10%. And I don't want to charge, but just I would want something so the station could grow without me losing all my money within like 2 years. So, just something so it can sustain itself, and then the people working there to help produce the shows.
Yeah.
But I think that would be fun. Like, that would be an enjoyable gig.
Yeah. I know what I would do.
What's that?
Well, first, I would eat a whole box of this. These cookies and cream Oreos. Then, I'd eat a whole package of these. The brownie
So your job is eating
So,
Oreos.
wait, your job's going to be to
wait.
gain 5,000 pounds?
Wait.
Is that-
Wait. Well, no, there's no consequences. I wouldn't even gain any weight. Third, I would have a package of this, the pumpkin spice Oreos. All right.
He's
And
gonna
then,
do diabetes commercials.
wait, and then I would build a massive man cave with the best surround sound, and the biggest TV, and the TV with the lowest latency. Just so I can play my games the best way possible. And then I would also travel the world. And when I'm not traveling the world, I'd be home playing video games with my wife.
So you're a professional slacker.
Yes. I wouldn't
I'm
be
picking
helping
that
anyone.
one too.
I wouldn't be helping anyone but myself.
If money was no object, I wouldn't work. That's my.
Well, if money was no object, I definitely would be helping people too. I'd probably be giving lots of money
sure.
for music scholarships.
Would it
and
be a
things like
job though? I don't think it would be a job as much as it'd be because a job is something you do to make a living. It's not really. It wouldn't really be a job as much as I don't know a hobby.
that?
To go around and help people out and. Like, if I was going to do a job, it'd probably be developing, being in charge, like a creative director of a game or something like that. Something where I can be creative with, because I love games, I love being creative, so.
Bruce
I'd love
is
to
right.
be in charge of a racing game.
Bruce is right. He said Vern would be a taste tester at the Oreo prediction facility.
Pretty much. The Oreo prediction?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're going to start a company that predicts Oreo flavors in the future.
I'd still want to just sit around and do a podcast about video games. Like, that's what I would want to do. I don't know if I'd want to do, like, what the YouTubers, like, all these people are, like, spending 8 hours a day. Like Steve. Like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't be Steve.
No.
Sorry,
Steve's
Steve.
hardcore.
Steve, you're hardcore.
Thank you.
I couldn't do
Plus,
it.
he's gonna open kiosks in the mall where he can sit down and do a podcast.
Yeah, I would just want to randomly interview people at the mall, like just in the middle.
Well, see,
like,
this
Vern, could you please, sir, come here real quick? I'd just like to ask you a few questions.
Would you like to do a 2-hour podcast?
this question isn't fair for Steve though, because Steve is independently wealthy and he doesn't have consequences. I mean, he's always in the nude. He's always playing games, and he doesn't even have to worry
royalty.
about money. So, I mean, he's living the life.
To be fair, there's 2 people here independently wealthy, but
That's true.
Eric, what would you do? Independently wealthy. 980s
he would
all over
continue
the place.
doing what he's doing.
Sleep. Good sleep. So
Good
really,
talk, Eric.
Steve, what would you do?
I'd probably sit around, play video games, perhaps write about them.
Moving on.
I think the response from Office Space is pretty much brilliant. What would you do with $1 million? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, my cousin's broke, and he does that.
He doesn't do shit, and he's broke. All right, Eric, do you have an answer, or you just disappeared at this point?
Oh, he's disappeared.
Eric's
He's off
gone.
somewhere. Playing Rainbow Six.
Yep. Well, Eric's gone.
All right, well,
Alright.
that's the end of the question. So thank you for writing in, Wicked Soul. We love you.
Thank you, Wicked.
Hello?
Oh, Eric,
Whoa.
you're back.
Oh, hey.
Sorry,
Eric,
I'm here.
So no consequences in life. Endless money. What do you do?
What job?
What's your
Oh.
job?
Wow, endless. Wow, any job?
No
Endless
consequences.
consequences. Endless consequences.
Okay, I would want to have a job as a farmer in the farming simulator games, so I can control.
Look, you're just bullshitting us here now.
All right. Well, anyway, let's move on.
What
Next
job
question.
would you do if you had no
Next.
consequences?
Wait, shut
I
up.
want to
Next
be Mark
question.
Zuckerberg.
All right, move on. Let's go to the next one. Next question, bro.
All right. Next one is from Will.
Burns.
Will says, "Hey guys, the Drive Club episode was hilarious. It's obvious that there's a certain contingent of people who cling a little too hard to that game, especially on NeoGAF, so thanks for poking fun at that. Anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on a few things. Why do you think Xbox exclusives are rarely in the running for Game of the Year nominations? Are Microsoft games incapable of giving gamers that avant-garde experience, like a Journey or Unfinished Swan, the emotional story of Last of Us or ambitions of Witcher and Metal Gear Solid, or as in Or is it a case of their game simply being overlooked for whatever reasons? The last time I saw any nominations was from IGN for Sunset Overdrive in 2014. Number 2, assuming that there will be no new announcements regarding Banjo-Kazooie in the future, why do you think Microsoft has been sitting on this property, among others, for so long? One would think that Microsoft are aware that Rare fans are clamoring for the property to return back its roots again. So with that in mind, do you think the successes of Killer Instinct and Rare Replay will show that there is a demand for more Rare franchise revivals? Heck, even Sony's released Knack, Tearaway, and in 2016, Ratchet & Clank, with Microsoft not having released anything like those. Number 3, in light of Sony's TGS show, it always gives me the feeling that Microsoft has fallen too far behind Sony to try to gain more support from Japanese publishers or even worldwide studios. Do you think Microsoft will have a strategy in place to broaden their library of games in the future, or do you see them mainly sticking to their current first-party plus third-party big release strategies? Lastly, does it bother you guys when people throw around the Xbox One doesn't have many true exclusive spiel? It doesn't get to me too much since I'm a console gamer and XBL has such a great platform, but at the same time, what they say isn't untrue. The Xbox One does have very few exclusives that make it feel a lot less unique in what it has to offer compared to the competition. Thanks again for answering our questions and keep up the good work. Will.
Okay, Vern, you're going to need to go through these one by one because my memory's not that good at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, that was a lot at once.
That was a lot. It's good though. What's the first one?
Yeah, let's say the first one again. Yeah.
The first one is about Xbox games being in Game of the Year.
I think...
I don't think any exclusive this generation yet has been... I mean, unless we're talking back to the original Xbox, every single Xbox game, because he's bringing up Last of Us and stuff like that. I think there's games that have been Game of the Year worthy. It's just... I think the third parties just made games that are more worthy of Game of the Year than the exclusives have been this generation.
I think you could argue that if you look at, like, Microsoft don't do too many of those sort of artsy games, which personally I prefer, so it doesn't bother me. Stuff like Journey and Unfinished Swan. But then you look at, like, The Last of Us, like, when Microsoft do multiplayer and single player, they are supposed to be sort of comparable in quality, whereas it's very clear with, like, The Last of Us that, like, 90% of their 95% of their resources went on that single player, and that's what Naughty Dog do really well, whereas Microsoft spread themselves a bit more and share focus, which might mean that perhaps less is sort of quite gone into one or the other. And they're still great games, but I think, generally speaking, to multiplayer, any games really win, like, Game of the Year, like, multiplayer focused.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, honestly, I think Halo 4 was Game of the Year worthy, but and not all the Archie games are Game of the Year worthy either. I mean, Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, great games, not Game of the Year games. But Last of Us was just a fantastic game. You know, it's just it is what it is. I don't even think it has to do with its style. But I agree that multiplayer games just usually don't see it like single-player games do.
I think Sunset Overdrive would have been up for more Game of the Year nominations had it released on PS4 as an exclusive.
Oh, are we saying there's a media bias? Yes.
Yeah, but looking at over the years, because even if people wanted to talk about media bias now, has there been a media bias for 15 years since Microsoft were in the generation, in the console business? Certainly last generation, for the first 3 quarters of it, I would argue that the opposite was probably true. That the media was probably a bit more favourable to Microsoft, in which case surely they would have been in a position then to get Game of the Year awards. What came out in 2007? Did Halo 3 win Game of the Year? Did Mass Effect? I can't remember now.
And then, then you got to get in question, whose Game of the Year are we talking about now? IGN's Game of the Year? The Game of the Year from... I mean, a lot of games won Game of the Year from different outlets. And not to mention, does it matter?
I think last year you could easily look and say that the two games that got Game of the Year the most, I would have said probably Shadow of Mordor and Dragon Age Inquisition. Like, I think Shadow of Mordor surprised a lot of people. Those were the two games that stuck out for me that people voted for.
And you could even argue there was a lot of games last year. Usually games that come out early that year that are maybe even superior get ignored because they came out so early that year.
Witcher might not get some Game of the Year nods because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Metal Gear Solid's going to end up picking up a lot of this stuff partially because of the time it came out.
Now, if whether or not...
I think, honestly, I think after the reviews, like, Metal Gear's love has kind of waned a little bit.
I think Metal Gear would survive on the fact that I would still argue that its gameplay, regardless of any mishaps with the story, the gameplay is probably worthy of it. They've got the online to release, although what I think bodes well for The Witcher is that they've got big expansion in October. You know, it's not just sort of been released and just left. I mean, I wouldn't have said that the Dragon Age Inquisition, the way that they did DLC, wasn't quite the same way that CD Projekt doing the Witcher stuff. It's sort of more substantial. So I think that will help it be more relevant.
And as far as the media buy stuff, I mean, I know, well, like 360 gen, no. But like this gen, yes. Like, you just take GameSpot, for example, look at their Gears of War review, or for that matter, look at their Forza 6 review. They even said themselves, like, the only complaints they had, the only negatives were nitpicks. And the only negative they even listed on their review as a main negative for that game was that replays are not 60 frames per second. Yet that was worth 2 points of the entire game. And then they came out and, like, Gears of War, one of the biggest... The game shows the biggest design flaw of the Gears of War franchise, and that's that you have to kill all the enemies to progress. It's like, what kind of bullshit is that? I mean, I don't... maybe it's biased. Yes, they did. That's in their review. They said the remaster shows the biggest design flaw in Gears of War, and that's that you have to kill all the enemies to progress. I mean, you could take that how you want, but that's just I don't even know where they get that. So I'm not saying, oh, Forza deserved a 10 from them. I don't care what it deserved. I think they should be more like someone defended them saying, well, maybe they just felt like it wasn't a 10 game. Then why didn't they say that? Why didn't they come out with reasons for why it wasn't? Because that's why you read reviews, because you want to know why. But I don't know. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay, next part of the question is about Banjo-Kazooie and revivals and platformers,
I think it's
essentially.
Their attitude towards Rare's back catalogue honestly baffles me. I haven't listened to it to confirm myself, but someone else who did listen to it told me that because the head of Rare was at Redmond last week, he went on Major Nelson's podcast, and at some point apparently he turned around and said that the entire studio is now on Sea of Thieves, which I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, why they're not looking at... Because they seem to have definitely looked at smaller games. They should be doing two things. They should be setting up a second development team to develop smaller things, and they should be setting up some sort of small outsourced team so that they can get pitches from independent developers to make games in their IPs, the ones that they don't want to touch. But they don't seem to be doing it. I don't get it. It seems stupid to me. There doesn't appear to be a logical explanation for it, because the one thing that they need right now when they're trading in sales is to look at all the people that have got big gooey eyes over all these franchises from 10, 15 years ago. Like, hey, here's a new one. And they don't have to be AAA games. Mm-hmm. It's 2015, smaller games. A lot of these smaller games would be completely sufficient as long as they're actually good. But, fuck knows.
I mean, that's...
All right, what, any other part of this?
Yeah, third part was about Japanese support.
It's done.
Oh.
It's over.
Okay, here, let me put it this way. I'll go ahead and describe Japanese support right now. The Xbox One in total has sold 50,000 units in Japan since it launched. It has sold about 10,000 this year. There you go. That's it. Done.
Yeah, it said also worldwide studios, but worldwide studios, I think they're doing all right. They do have studios, quite a few studios outside the United States. So
yeah, they're going to support Japanese titles that are big and that most people in the United States might buy, but they're not going. I don't think they're going to support niche titles. I think they're just going to put their money behind Western games that are more attractive to the people that already are on their market.
I think their best hope is that when they've got... Because a lot of these Japanese titles are actually coming to PC. And I think their best hope is that when they come to PC, if they can actually show to these Japanese developers how simple and cheap that it would be to put them on Xbox One, that they would be good to try and get them to convince them to do it that way. But as it stands...
And as the console user base grows... Well, as the console user base grows, too, worldwide for the Xbox One, it'll be a more attractive platform. I think after this holiday season, it'll be more attractive.
I hate to say it, though. Do Japanese are they making a lot of moves that really make sense nowadays?
They are.
That anyone would.
I would say backing
consider
Sony was probably a very smart move.
Well, sure, because it's actually selling in Japan.
All right, either way, I think that's it for that. Is there anything else on this letter?
Last part of the question was about Xbox having true exclusives. I'm assuming what he means is about PC. Yeah, I mean...
As long as the games are good, right?
Yeah.
Games, and also the fact that they run as you would expect. Like, I don't expect them to turn around and put games on PC as well, and then the Xbox version is a shit port. That to me would be unacceptable. I still think that they should probably develop for Xbox One first and then port afterwards. And that, you know, if they outsource, say, a PC version, then that would probably be better. You know, if the resources are sort of tight. But at the end of the day, I play games. I just want great games. I'm not going to be... As long as Microsoft are investing in those games, and those games are staying on Microsoft's platforms, and there's benefits to them being on PC, like, you know, them actually selling, then as long as I get good games and good ports...
If you're worried about anyone sitting there going, well, the Xbox doesn't have anything that I can't just get on a PC, I mean, don't worry about that, because the honest truth is that's bullshit. Because even if you take away all their games that are coming to PC, there's still a great lineup on Xbox One. Even if you ignore every single title for whatever reason, just because it's coming to PC also, you still got a great lineup this year.
Really?
And that's all that really matters. Yeah. Got Halo, Forza, Rise of the Tomb Raider. Rise of the Tomb Raider
already came out. Gears Ultimate already came out. None of that's been on PC yet.
Nope.
Not yet, yeah.
I mean, it's straight up, people worried about, it's coming to PC. Who cares? But straight up, even though some of these games are on PC, most people play it on console.
Yeah, but it is a thing, though, you know, in the community. People are asking, like, you know, I've seen a lot of people like, why are these games coming to PC? You know, people feel that way. They're like, why are these coming? You know, they want to feel that this game is exclusive only on their platform. So they have Halo 5 and Forza. But, you know, they see, like, Gears Ultimate going, and then Phil Spencer was just in an interview. He's like, it's not bad, guys. Look, it's not bad for Xbox exclusives to show up on PC.
No, he was saying the common sense thing. The more platforms it's on, the more it sells.
It was just
more support
it made me feel, though, like the Xbox really is dependent on the PC more. They're going towards the future. It's kind of interesting, weird, actually.
I mean, I don't think that they would necessarily be in a similar situation if the Xbox One hadn't been designed as we discussed earlier, and they would have sold what everybody was expecting, including third parties. I do wonder if we'd be having a different situation, but the reality is that I largely suspect that the reason why they just don't talk numbers is the same reason nobody talks numbers, is because that, you know, their highs are probably pretty decent, but the lows are pretty low, and they don't want to be seen to be puffing their chest out, because then it's pretty obvious when, you know, there's nothing to puff their chest out on, so they just keep quiet about everything. software sales probably, and the software sales I would expect like they were. I mean, Gears of War came out the equivalent of when Sunset Overdrive did. Gears of War had done 2 million by that holiday. That was a huge success. That was a great game, and as great as Sunset was, we can be pretty sure that it didn't sell 2 million.
Yeah.
I mean, straight up, I know people that don't follow gaming news like we do, and as far as they're concerned, they don't care. Like, they couldn't care more. Like, oh, you realize this game's coming to the PC, right? No, well, I don't care. I play this on. I'm a console player.
Oh yeah, casual.
And
person.
a lot of
but you know what I mean.
who represent
like
99%
in the
of the
community.
market.
Like we're talking.
Yeah,
in
the
social media and
vocal
stuff. There's a lot
1%
of
community.
I wouldn't say 1%. There's
Yes, it is
people have been
1%.
pretty vocal
We're
this
talking
generation.
1,000. Dude, we're talking.
The minute
Let's
it hits
just put it in
Twitter
this
and it starts
perspective.
trending, you know.
The Xbox One subreddit's got about 150,000 people on it that have ever subscribed to it. That's the biggest Xbox One community on the internet.
Yeah.
There's 20 plus million Xbox Ones out there. I mean, just put that into perspective.
Yeah, I understand, but
That's
words
less
have
than
act-
1%.
20
Yeah,
million.
but words
That's
have
very
different
high.
meaning, though. Like, when something happens on Twitter and someone says something, it's like a wildfire. We've seen that already, okay? PlayStation
It's a
going
wildfire to the minority.
No, you know what? Look, a good example.
Dude, I've been in...
There's a good example, what I'm trying to say. A good example is, like, when Xbox Live, and PSN got DDoSed, right? Attacks. Look at that. Like, it was trending all over the place, went on the news and everything. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
but that has little to do with what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is, even if someone knows about it, if a casual guy that only games on Xbox One, he doesn't game on PC, he doesn't want to invest on a PC, he doesn't care about anything, as far as he's concerned, Killer Instinct coming to PC doesn't create it not being exclusive. He still can't play it on PlayStation.
But then there comes the exclusive argument, you know? And I'm not talking about Windows 10.
It's still an exclusive.
No, I'm saying I'm not talking about just Windows 10. You know, what if they start, putting games on Steam or something? You know, more. Well, they have, but you know what I mean. Like,
what does it matter?
I don't think Steam.
It wouldn't be exclusive, in my opinion.
Yeah, it would. How would it?
As long as it doesn't run on anything other than Microsoft
It would still be on a
platforms.
single console.
Yeah, they could call it an Xbox exclusive because they're referring to PC games on Windows 10 Xbox. So that's how they're going to get away with it. But as far as them releasing games on PC, I think they need to do it. And I'm going to tell you exactly why right now. Witcher 3 sold 6 million copies by the end of August, okay? Now, 30% of their sales were digital, right? No, were PC. 30% were PC, right?
Wow. Yeah, 50% were digital.
And
30% were
PC.
PC. 30% were PC. That's 1.8 million PC copies of The Witcher 3.
That's crazy. Wow.
That is insane numbers for a PC game that requires those kind of system specs. That means the market is there and they're willing to buy if you sell them the right games.
But to be fair, they're not going to put their games on Steam.
No, they're not.
So they got probably.
But those people buying Witcher, Steve, have Windows running on their computer, and they have Steam, Origin, and everything else installed because they have to.
If
the only
Microsoft...
people that only use Steam are people that are just. I mean,
only
you gotta get over
fanboys
yourself.
use Steam. You know why?
And only
because,
Steam.
Honestly, this is what a true PC gamer uses. They use Humble Bundle. They use
any platform. They
Goodwill game. Anything to get them the cheapest price. And you know what? They use multiple platforms. They ship games on Origin. It doesn't matter. PC gamers just download the app and it runs in the background. They don't care. Steam is a nice interface. It's a nice store. People get a ton of games on Steam sales. I'm not arguing that. But PC gamers don't really fucking care all that much. They'll bitch for about a day.
The market's there. The market's there.
No,
if
1.8
million people are, and this game hasn't even been out that long, it's going to probably sell twice that in the end when you figure out all the Steam sales that are going to go. With Witcher 3, that the price is going to drop. More people are going to buy it. We're probably going to see 4 million PC copies sold of Witcher 3. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly.
All right, I got to cut us off here. We got to keep. We need to move on. Is that the last letter, or we got more?
No, we got another letter. We got two more.
Let's do these.
Next letter. First off, love you, love the show. Everything about you guys rules. The intros are fucking amazing. That X1 Saint X character is talented as all fuck. Let me ask you boys this. Super Scope 6 versus Sega Menacer. I think the Menacer looked cooler, but the Super Scope 6 made you feel like you were holding something with great power. And you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Now you're playing with power. Responsible power. Keep up the good work. I'm X1 Saint X's biggest fan. Regards, X1 Saint X. I mean, Chris.
Just step into an ad or something.
Well, One Saint, thanks for writing.
I'm going with a Super Scope. Straight up.
You know, I'm a huge Sega fanboy, so it's hard for me to say this, but I'm going to say the Super Scope as well. And the reason I'm going to say it's a Super Scope is because the Sega Menacer was a knockoff of the Super Scope, and it wasn't as cool. I know you said you thought it looked better, but I don't think so. The Menacer looked like, I don't know, someone who didn't have control of their body was creating something because it was all like mangled and garbage. The thing was disgusting. And the Super Scope was like a giant like bazooka. That shit was badass.
That thing, it made you feel like you're like going to go take out a tank or some shit.
Exactly. That was cool.
You never
had
did
some pretty
that,
good games.
but yeah, that's what it made you feel like.
The cartridge that had all the little mini games on it was pretty fun, man.
Yeah.
The Sega Menacer games, I don't even remember them. So,
all right, yeah, I think everybody agrees. Super Scope, no questions. Super Scope. So
Eric,
the Menacer
Super Scope.
people?
Now I will
Any
take
Menacers?
points away from the Super Scope for being in that god awful Mario movie. God awful.
I've got no idea what any of you are talking about.
You don't remember the Super Scope, Steve?
No.
It was
Google.
like a giant bazooka-looking thing that was for the SNES.
The Super Scope was probably bigger than him when it came out.
Yeah.
Nintendo had a lot of those, guns and stuff.
No,
They
but the
were-
Super Scope was a special thing.
No,
Like,
Nintendo.
If
didn't
you're
have
interested, I gotta say, if you're interested in finding out about the Super Scope or any of the Nintendo accessories, go look up Angry Video Game Nerd.
Yeah.
And I think he has a video called Nintendo Accessories, and he goes over all of them, and it's fucking hilarious.
Well, the thing with the Super Nintendo, it didn't have a light gun, so the first gun to come out for it was the Super Scope.
Yeah.
You know, so on one hand, yeah, the thing was cool, but on the other hand, it didn't have a regular old light gun that you could play a Uncut style game with. That was the only.
That
bummer.
was kind of strange. It was like the guys at Nintendo were like, "Fuck it, we're gonna bring out a bazooka."
Yeah, what's better than a light gun? A light
fuck
bazooka.
it. Exactly.
and that way you really can't miss.
But then they
still
brought
didn't
back
work.
the light gun games, like from Sega. For
Yeah.
the
Where did the
Saturn.
light gun games go, guys?
They came
Do we need
back.
More
They
light.
came back. House of the
Did
Dead.
they?
Well,
Yes.
no, I'm talking about they came back after that, but
Yeah.
not recently. No.
You'll see more of those with the VR stuff. Probably.
Time Crisis, man. Time Crisis. That game was fun, man. You had the pedal.
Time Crisis 4 I played in Dave & Buster's 2 weeks ago.
They're
was
building
nice.
a Dave & Buster's here in Little Rock.
I saw
Time
people
Crisis 4
actually
is
make a
amazing.
living at Dave and Buster's by winning and selling iPads. But
How's that
I,
possible?
you have to go look it up.
Yeah, people
I gotta
have
look
done it.
that up.
It's true.
That's crazy.
Found your new jobs, guys.
But anyway, Super Scope. That's it.
Scope. Yep.
All right,
Sorry,
let's
man.
move on. What's the next
Last letter. Last letter is from Old No Bones. Old No Bones says, "It's obvious that an Xbox One Slim is coming at some point, and I think the size difference will be dramatic. What kind of things would you like to see? How much storage? How many ports? What should it cost?" This is actually an important time for Microsoft. The PlayStation 3 did not get back in the fight sales-wise until they released Uncharted 2 and brought out a slim version of the PS3. This could be a turning point for Xbox One sales. Also, a price drop is no doubt happening for PlayStation 4 soon. Should Xbox respond with a drop or just bundles and stuff? Love the podcast. Keep it going. I hope your listener base is growing. Y'all are by far the most informed people commenting on Xbox week to week. Thank you for
that's
bringing in
sweet.
All No Bones.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we like the praise.
Definitely.
Shower us with praise.
We understand the non-informed thing when we listen to other shit.
Oh, we get angry.
I complain about it constantly.
And these are podcasts with huge listener bases that have a lot of sway. So that's when it gets annoying.
Just listening to Giant Bomb just today about their Halo stuff, and they're like, "This is." I think Brad was like, "This reminds me of Republic Commando." It's like no one in there is going to mention the fact that the creative director. Never mind.
Yeah, I just don't know that stuff. It's like listening to kind of fucking talk about Xbox too. It's like, gosh.
All right, just to throw it out there, and I know this is but just mentioning Kind of Funny, I kind of lost a little respect for them for their new podcast.
Yeah, me too.
Like
doing a PlayStation only podcast.
You know what? I'm cool with them doing a PlayStation only podcast. That's fine. We do an Xbox only podcast. I'm not going to hold that against you. But to name it PlayStation I Love You.
PS I Love You, yeah.
No, PS, it stands for PlayStation.
Yeah. That's like making fun of the movie.
PlayStation I Love You. That's literally saying, I'm the hugest fanboy of all fucking time. I love you and you can do no wrong. The podcast. Like, I'm sorry. I still subscribe to Kind of Funny, but not Kind of Funny Games anymore. I actually unsubscribed because of that. Because I do enjoy their content, but that... And I even told Jason the first time I saw it, I enjoyed the ad. I thought it was cool. With Greg and Colin just sitting there, it's like, hey, you want to do a PlayStation podcast? Colin just, yeah, why not? And then it's
that's
just
what
the
it
end
should
of the
have
ad.
been in the first place.
It was great. It was like, fucking, hey, that's going to be great. It's like, P.S. I love you. No, that's. I'm sorry. Like, I don't like it. Just.
The name isn't my problem. My problem is that if you're gonna go and do a single like platform holder podcast, like a Sony podcast, you better do a Microsoft podcast and you better do a Nintendo podcast.
Especially, it's different with us because we started as an Xbox. But when you have a network the size that they're building and have, and you're going to do one that's for a specific platform, you need to cover all the platforms.
And I get it. I understand why the two of them should do a PlayStation podcast.
It's Greg Miller, for God's sake.
Well, they both know a lot about Sony's products, just like we do about Microsoft's products, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we wouldn't be able to name off the stuff we wouldn't be able to have the kind of information they have when it comes to...
Get out of here. We would know. We would know.
I'm going with Eric. We'd be really close. We would be really close.
We don't know as much about Sony as they do, though.
No, we don't. But we would be pretty fucking close on our fact checking.
We would be better about Sony than they would be about Microsoft. Yeah, I get that. But still, I mean, those two guys should be doing a Sony podcast. I agree. But don't come up with a multi-platform network or whatever you want to call it, you know, and then suddenly just do one podcast for a specific company. That's a little bit ridiculous. That makes you go, well, then they're biased. Why do I want to hear what they say about other things?
It's like we're going to do a podcast for one platform, and also it's going to be called I Love You.
Yeah.
Like that, it's such a bad name, and
yeah, I think it's a bad idea.
It's awful. Like I'm being very honest. I lost a lot of respect for them because of it.
I got pretty upset about it too. And
that'd be like creating they might as well create a podcast called PS4 is for gamers. Kind of fun.
No, that would have been fun. You know what? I would support that more than PS4 I Love You. Like it would be like us making a podcast called Fuck
it
PlayStation.
Has undertones too. Yeah.
No, I'm being dead serious. It would be me making a podcast called Fuck PlayStation, and then talking shit about PlayStation. It's Dustin's a fanboy, so fuck PlayStation. Like that. I don't like it. I don't like it.
To be honest, it's not even a very good name. Like Podcast Beyond. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't find it clever. I just don't think
it's clever in a stupid way. It's PS. Oh, it's a double meaning. PlayStation PS. I love you. Like
I actually like the name.
I don't. I mean, that things I don't object to them doing it because I think the reason why they're doing it now is because they've obviously looked at their user base and they've realised that they want to put. They want to put food on the table and they want to pay the rent. And the easiest way to do that, quite frankly, is just happen to the people that love them already and what they love about them.
PlayStation Beyond.
Is PlayStation. But it's just a crap. That's what actually irritated me. Was actually the crap name.
The PS I Love You really irritated me. I'm like, it's to the point that I unsubscribed.
Well, it just makes me not want to hear what they have to say about other consoles now, because I know they don't care.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny, but they made. I mean,
no, it seemed like they were trying. It honestly seemed like they were trying.
Vern's right, because they'd be like, "Hey, Microsoft sent us this game." Yes, they were doing their due diligence by like letting people know, but it was, we're doing the Microsoft thing. We're playing
this week
Xbox.
They're doing. Well, this week they're doing Let's Plays for Halo 5 as well as Tomb Raider. So they actually are covering the Microsoft stuff. But they're not featuring it, obviously, if they're doing a podcast entirely devoted to PlayStation. It's like, well, how are you going to maintain integrity now? It's obvious where your interests are, and they're not
Well,
in
the thing that
places
annoys
I was
me
hoping
is
it might be.
when you listen to some of these podcasts and they talk about a PlayStation game, and they could tell you every single thing about the lore, the characters, what's going on, what's happening, why is it here, what's going on right now. But then you put them in front of an Xbox game, it's like listening to Giant Bomb talk about Halo. It's like they were talking about how they made up these new AI characters. Like they made up Kelly and Linda and Fred on the spot for this game. Like, no, they didn't. They've been part of the lore since the beginning.
They're kind of...
But Halo, but let's be fair, Halo's got a massive lore, and they've
but that's something simple,
No,
dude.
but I'll put it... Look, as a person that watched Kinda Funny's Halo video, it was literally the two of them just... It wasn't even Colin or Greg. It was just them
awful.
sitting there, and they were...
Like
they were playing on easy, and it was literally going... And you could see he was barely moving the right analog stick to shoot things, and it was just like, it feels like Halo, and it's Halo, and it looks good, and it's Halo, and like they were done. Like,
well, they're being stupid. If they're gonna cover Nintendo and cover Microsoft, they need to hire one or two people who are experts in those particular categories.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me is that we're not paid for this kind of thing. We don't make money to do it. Yet we know this shit because we follow it.
If you guys want
That's
to pay
the thing
me,
that gets me. If I paid you, if I literally paid you, I would, and had you do Let's Plays, I would expect you to actually do some research behind it. Like, straight up. I would expect it. Because you're there to inform people. But All
right, well, not to...
But anyway, back to the letter.
Let's go back to the letter.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the letter at all. Xbox One Slim, what do we think? Is it a real chance for Microsoft to come out and win back some market share if they do it right?
Next year.
Desperately need a rebrand. I'm honestly surprised it's taken this long. They need to rebrand the hell out of that thing. I would not honestly be surprised if they just cut the one off and just said, this is fucking Xbox.
No, it's going to be Xbox
They
One.
have to rebrand again? Did they just rebrand?
They're not going to rebrand it. What they're going to do, they're going to get...
And that's what led to its revival. They gave it new logos, they had the new box art stuff. They had a ton
but
of
it was
new
still the PlayStation 3 the whole time.
It's
still going to be...
I don't think they got to go that far.
The Xbox One was a much stupider name than PlayStation 3, to be honest.
No, but they had the Xbox
But it makes
360
it sound...
wasn't a great name. Like they've never. I hate to say, Xbox has never had a great name.
Here's the problem: if you change the name, you get into the problem of, and this has happened constant. When you change, like, let's say we change it to just Xbox, or let's change it to whatever name they come up with. Well, does this still play Xbox One games? It's called something different. Well, I didn't buy this. My kid asked for an Xbox One. You don't want to confuse the casuals. They're not going to change it because you confuse the casual market. So that's just not going to happen.
Leave the name. You make it slim. I think this holiday is going to tell us if Microsoft's ever going to be able to catch up. If Microsoft, if they have good deals, I bet they kill it this holiday season. They're going to have a bunch of great sales, and they'll push their name through the door. But
I think the real question is whether or not this device is going to have a Blu-ray drive.
I think it has to.
You have to.
They should do too.
Yeah, I think it does have to.
Well, I don't see not be funny. GameStop were kicking off about having to provide digital codes. You imagine trying to tell them that they're going to sell a console without a disc drive.
I know a lot of people that want one. I want one without a disc drive. It's one less thing to fill.
No. But what he's saying is, recently GameStop came out and said they're not bundling.
Yeah, we talked about
digital
last
codes.
week.
Yeah.
They also came out right after and said they will be selling because they turned around that within a couple days. They
I
turned
don't
around that
remember that.
entire statement. Yep, they did. They came out and said they will be selling games bundled with digital codes. It was a dumbass thing to say in the
Sure.
first place. The
have a
bundles
link?
are still out there. They're in their stores. It was on Engadget. It was in their stores. Right? How are you gonna? We're no longer gonna sell games with digital bundles. Then what are you gonna do with all the Xbox Ones in your warehouses?
Well, obviously you just sell them off over time.
Yeah, but you'd still be selling bundles with digital codes in them.
Well, I
Because
don't
the
think-
digital codes are already in the boxes.
Well, yeah, but I don't. Well, yeah, but don't they? Over here, they sell codes for games, like new games. They could just. But I don't think they were literally saying we're going to cut dead everything now. We refuse to sell them. You know, if they've turned around and said this is our policy, then they'll probably just turn around and go, okay, that's fine. You know, we'll shift the ones that we've got through. Don't send us any more. Or we'll
Yeah, they never
Another
retracted that,
separate else.
Jason. I'm not finding that anywhere.
Well, I saw it. I'll have to find it for you.
Yeah. In that when they made that statement, they said rather than selling like the Madden Xbox One with it bundled in as a digital code, instead they would just sell the basic console and then bundle in their own copy of Madden. So that's how they're going to do things. So, but yeah, it makes me wonder like how they're going to. Maybe Microsoft will just send them regular boxes that don't have any codes bundled in.
I doubt they're going to make an entire bundle just for a single retailer. They'll probably just sell standard with their game copies.
Yeah.
They'll probably just take the codes out and then send them back or something.
Yeah.
And then they'll keep all the
And they'll take the sleeves off.
Because all it is, I mean, all it is no, they'll leave the sleeve, but they'll just have, hey, here's a disc, and then they'll just take it off or
Oh,
some
yeah,
crap.
yeah, I see. That makes sense.
Because I can't see them specifically making separate bundles for GameStop as big as they are. They'll just make all the same bundles, and then they'll just yeah.
All right, guys.
And last part of the
do something
question,
with the
price
code.
drop. Do we see a price drop?
Yes.
I'm not feeling it now. I always felt they'd go $2.99, but I'm not feeling it now.
Even with
I
Sony
think
doing a
that
price
they'll-
drop likely next month?
If Sony drops, they will drop
They're-
for sure.
They're the ones. Sony are the ones that are announcing that their bundles are going to be $4.50. So if they do a $50 price drop because they're not going to do $100 because they're not fucking stupid, then they're going to be selling Battlefront and COD at $400. Microsoft will be selling their bundles at $3.50 still. Microsoft got Halo. Halo's if they didn't have Halo, I think they'd have probably fucking dropped it again already. But they do have Halo. And I think that they're just going to look at Halo and say, well, if Halo can't sell for us, then we've got a bigger problem in itself.
But if
I mean,
Sony
like Phil
drops,
Spencer
Microsoft has
said,
to drop.
They expected Sony to drop, looking at history anyway. So it wouldn't be surprising if they set themselves up to be ready to drop the price at this point to compete.
I think so too.
And it's not rocket science, but I was browsing the Xbox Wire website this week and I found a holiday press kit PDF, and I was browsing along and there was a bundles page, and it said, you know, it's just the Madden bundle, the Gears bundle, the Forza bundle, the Halo bundle, and then it said underneath, even more bundles coming soon, ... I mean, they didn't announce the Assassin's Creed bundle until mid-October. They'll have Tomb Raider, they'll have Fallout.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright.
the Elite bundle's listed on this either.
Let's think we've answered that. And do we have one more letter, or
No, that's all
That's
of
it?
them. So thank you for writing in, and write us at email@xboxuncut.com. Letters at xboxun.com is gone. Email at xboxun.com is where you have to send us letters.
Yeah, I looked. I could have swore I saw it, but I guess I didn't. Still, it's an odd statement from them.
All right. Well, let's just go a quick. What have you been playing? I think that's what we're gonna do. I played Grand Theft Auto online with a couple friends. I met actually new friends. It was awesome. I met new people on Xbox Live, Vern.
Yeah, who was that new guy we were playing with? He was nice.
They
British
offered
guy.
me the candy, and they told me to get in their van. That's all I know.
No, who was the British guy though? What was his name?
I don't like saying people's gamer tags. I don't remember
Oh, okay, yeah.
his name.
Well, anyway, he was nice.
Yeah, he was awesome. And yeah, I want to play more GTA Online. That game still takes forever to fucking load, and the server issues are still there. Where it's like, okay, I'm in this server, Vern's in that server. Let's try to get together. No, you can't. What the fuck? Like, it's still, the headache is there. But the mission's still fun. We got the full heist. It was great. And it worked, but it did take forever to load. I'm glad I didn't live stream that game that day, because we would be sitting there literally for like 5-6 minutes just on a loading screen waiting for the little white bar to get through so I could load the game up. It was ridiculous. But I had a ton of fun. Vern, what have you been playing? Just Destiny?
Well, besides Destiny, which I already talked about, I don't think I need to say any more about Destiny. I've still been playing Forza.
Oh.
I got through the first 2 circuits now. I'm on the 3rd circuit, the Grand Touring Cars. I think it's the 3rd circuit. Well, whatever. But I just started that, so that's it. There's not much to talk about.
Yeah. Eric, what have you been playing? Riveting stuff.
I've been playing, as you know, the Rainbow Six beta.
And
Rainbow
just
Six
to throw it
Siege.
out there, Eric, you have some really good 60 frames per second YouTube videos up.
Thank you very much. We had to wait because I didn't notice the bit rate on that was high. Oh my god, I didn't realize.
Yeah, Eric didn't realize it. Not like I was trying to coach him through it because he was like, look at my 60 frames per second videos, and I was like, they're only 30. He's like, but it's done processing, and I'm is the file actually 60? Yes. All right, it takes a while longer, even though it says it's done. It's not. Because they're massive
such
files.
A long time. Yeah.
What do you think of it though?
It's definitely, if you like Counter-Strike Go, you're definitely gonna like this way better. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely, unless you like a more faster way to kill somebody, and there are weapons that do that, but this is as great as it gets because the operators, the tactics you got to do in the game, like using shock drones to go and nick people, and then you got to do it. You got to do it careful because if you get on the armor, it's not gonna work. You got to like shoot like right in their chest or near their neck to make them like get injured and they'll fall on the floor. It's hilarious. Then they got like the whole camera thing too. It's crazy. Like you put cameras on the wall and you can go look at them while you're upstairs or something, and then monitor the area. Then you can tag the person, blast holes in the wall, take a breaching charge if somebody's in the next room and you can't get through because they blocked it. Put a charge up. You taking the whole wall down. You know, it's just amazing. It's just I really like what they did. And the operators are all unique. All of them. They got these guys called Twitch and Mute. I like Twitch because she uses, I think it's a woman. She has a mask on, but I think it looks like a woman to me. And she uses a shock drone. I use that a lot online. Sometimes I fail because I don't do it right, or there's another enemy or another operator who uses some type of gadget that can corrupt your frequency with your visual, and then they'll message you up, and you got to back away or something, but it's too late, you know. But I like Mute because he has I like how he uses the breaching charge on there and the nitro gel or cell. You throw it and it blows up. I like that too. There's this guy. I think he has like this huge shield that he carries, and it makes you OP. It's not a ballistic shield. It's like even worse. It's called Montague or something. He's an operator. He's called Montague or something like that. And it's like they created these unique operators. Also, they're from different divisions of like, they got the FBI in there. Sorry, I can't name the other one. There's 4 other ones. They got people from Germany, the UK, and I think Russia.
So it feels like team based with all the different characters having different things to them.
Yeah. And and you can do grappling just like in Rainbow Six style, and it's very smooth. It's really good.
Does it feel fast paced though, or does it feel more tactical?
Well, I have videos where if you see them, like you do have to slow down. Like some people rush in, and some people and when you're defending, right, you're supposed to stay inside. The minute you're outside, you can be detected by the enemies. Like me, if I'm outside and I see you run on a roof, I'm like, oh wait, you're down. You're gonna get killed. So you got to be inside and either guard a hostage, but not in this one. In the alpha, it was the hostage. This one is the bomb. You got to defend the bomb from the people getting inside, us going inside it. But yeah, it's more slow pace unless somebody's hunting you down. So it's going to be very slow pace. Like, there was this awesome thing, and I think it was the consulate. We couldn't go through the front door. We just couldn't. They did something. They booby-trapped it with bombs, and it was lucky I had this guy who can see it. He had, like, a heartbeat thing or whatever, and he was like, wait, whoa, hold on a minute. We can't go through the front door, and we can't go through the side. Let's go up top. So we go all the way up to the top, then we break through the window, and it was so cool. It was like something out of, like, Mission Impossible. Yeah. And we're turning down, and we're just going slowly down into the place. I'm like, oh, this is just crazy.
Rainbow Six
I just
sounds
loved
awesome.
it. Rainbow Six, it just it is good. It just feels good. It looks to me so far it could change to be the best tactical shooter out this year. Like, it really is nice.
All right. Well, thanks for adding. Contributing, Eric, and not falling asleep. We always appreciate it.
We appreciate that. Yes.
Steve, what have you been playing? What's the game? What's the?
Do you only want one?
Yes, just one game. One game.
Oh, that's tough. Okay, I suppose I've got to go Metal Gear then. I finished it. I've sold it. I'm done.
Sold it? You're not going to play Metal Gear Online?
I think you've answered that question for yourself there, Ben. No.
You'd be worried about dying.
I'm going to hunt you down one day. I can't. There's so much other stuff I've got to play. And all the value's just going to drop. But anyway, so I played it. I really liked it. Gameplay wise, it's the best of the series. It definitely is unquestionably the best. In terms of the story, I've seen all the stuff that was cut, and I do think that obviously there's a key bit to the end of the game that was definitely cut, and that's a shame, and it would have made sense to be in there, especially as it only appeared to be one level, and that was kind of important to that. But from the ending that they gave us, I actually felt, obviously I won't spoil it, but I felt very satisfied as to sort of perhaps a justification to me as to perhaps why he was a bit more of a silent protagonist. I mean, it's still pretty bullshit, but I did feel better about it.
Did you think it was kind of a cop-out as far as the ending's concerned, though? And how they portrayed Snake? Oh, Big Boss?
No, I was perfectly fine with that, actually. I thought that was pretty awesome. Kojima he's crazy as hell. Like, he is just off his
I just
rocker,
thought it felt
but I love it.
to me from what I read. So
I actually really liked it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was pretty awesome. I asked ranked all the levels, by the way, so I put such a ridiculous amount of time into it, and it was great, and I loved it. And as I said, what got me was that this cutscene that was missing and section, they could show you the cutscene, and it was like 30% done or something, but it was there, and it's a shame that it was missing, but I felt what was there was pretty awesome, and I was satisfied with the story. So, there's a few bits that I didn't really get, but I thought it was fantastic.
All right, Jason, finish us out. What have you been playing?
Space Engineers and Port 6. That's pretty much it.
Oh yeah, I was playing that too, but sorry, that's the recent. That's the most recent thing I've been playing.
All right, cool. Space Engineers.
Oh, I do want to mention, since there's not really anything I could say about those games, I do want to tell people that if you want to watch some very high quality Halo footage and a very high quality opening cinematic for Halo 5, go to news.xbox.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom. Go to the link on the left says Media Assets, and go in there, and you'll find the B-roll footage for Halo 5 gameplay, and you'll find
60
the
frames
B-roll.
per second?
Yes, it's 60 frames per second, and it's very, very high quality. Highest quality you'll find.
It looks glorious. That's all I
Yes.
can say. It looks really good.
All right.
It puts
to end the show out, I just wanted everybody to comment on, because we didn't really talk about Halo. I thought the campaign looked fucking awesome. Blue team all the way. And when I saw a hunter smack a grenade back towards a person after they threw it at him, I thought that was fucking epic, and I can't wait to fucking see what other
he was like a goalie. He was like, get that.
I want to see what other tricks the AI has learned, because just seeing a hunter go, because usually you would just toss a few grenades, try to shoot it in the back, and call it a day. This hunter was like, no, fuck that, get this grenade out of here. Tossed it right back at the person. I was like, wow, they're making them something to be reckoned with. It looks awesome. Anybody?
I haven't seen it yet. I just saw the intro, and the intro looked good. But I have to watch some gameplay still. But the previews that have been out have all been really positive, so I'm expecting good things.
I like how the AI doesn't seem... I think they've addressed the, do you want a lone wolf? You can lone wolf. But if you want to actually use your people to your advantage, you can tell them to go after enemies. But they're not going to be proactive unless you want them to be. And that's what it seems like it is. It's not. They're not going to play the game for you.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people had concerns like that. It just doesn't look like it's going to be.
Well,
like
it's
that.
like they were having the AI concentrate on a hunter so that the person could get behind the hunter to shoot it. Stuff like that, which is good. But yeah, I hate to say, we'll talk about it more next week, because I believe the Warzone stuff, all that releases tomorrow. Yeah. So on the next podcast, we'll talk about Halo a ton, and we'll actually talk about the campaign, because everybody at that point will have a chance to see it. But for tonight, that's going to be it for the podcast. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much for subscribing, following. Thanks for hanging out in Twitch chat this whole time. Thanks to Tim Dog for giving us a code and not even being on the show. That's the kind of guy he is. He's a great guy. Everybody's... No mention of Drive Club from Dustin from Excalibur. Drive Club's great, and if you want to send me a check, I'm good with it. But that's going to be it this week. Please write us at email@xboxuncut.com. Thank you so much for tuning in again. Peace out, everybody.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.